loan.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
I could never close a deal. I was always a big brother. Hey, well, never mind. Nobody wants to hear that crap. Sorry. I'm sorry. How are you? What's going on?
The old gay big brother, huh?
Oh, don't worry about Kim.
No, they were...
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
This is a Fox News alert. A deadly school shooting in Tennessee. I'm Lisa Brady. Police in Nashville just confirming what happened at Antioch High School earlier today.
From the investigation to this point, we know that at 11:09 a.m., a person who has been identified as a 17-year-old, armed with a pistol, fired multiple shots in the cafeteria of the school.
Metro Nashville Police spokesperson Don Aaron says 3 people were injured, including a female student who later died. Police say the shooter killed himself and was already down when school resource officers arrived in the cafeteria. There's no word yet on a possible motive. Again, police in Nashville confirm 1 female student killed, 2 others injured by a 17-year-old shooter who killed himself at Antioch High School. Top Republicans are considering congressional action over some of the former president's pardons.
House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox News Radio House Republicans will be looking at the numerous pardons from former President Biden. Democrat caucus chair and member of the subcommittee that investigated President Trump's alleged involvement in the events of January 6, Pete Aguilar, says he didn't advocate for a pardon and didn't feel it was necessary, but
a simple piece of paper does not protect anybody from Donald Trump and his administration.
Missouri Republican Eric Burleson says he's looking into legislation that would strip those pardoned of their federal pensions.
Fox's Ryan Schmel is on the Hill. Democrats are slamming President Trump's decision to grant clemency to Capitol riot defendants. President Trump says getting back to the White House was a lot of work.
With all that being said, I think it's bigger. It's bigger than if it were more traditional.
Only the second time in history somebody didn't have consecutive terms.
Yeah.
That Oval Office interview with Fox's Sean Hannity airs at 9 Eastern tonight. America is listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily. It helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
All tangled up there. Oh, look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and a mechanical mangler at the controls. It's Flounder and it's Hump Day. And boy, if I got a story for you from out of the past. Look out.
The day I was born.
I mean, what a day. Things that we're having. Oh, is there Tiffany? Who's in there? Is that our work wife? Hi, sweetie. Hey, baby. How you doing? Like, she's so pretty. She just younger and younger every day. I swear to God. Oh, there she goes. She's gone. She hates me talking to her. Poor thing. She's so sweet. She was our former work wife. Anyway,
Focus.
I don't want to focus. I'm not focusing. Hell, the guys right before us were stealing my thunder. All of a sudden, they're talking about chicks and hot babes and boobs and addressing the little trampy-looking, slutty-looking girlfriend from Bezos and whoever. Was it Bezos or with the other guy? One of the rich guys and his knocker-showing girlfriend.
was Jeff Bezos' wife
yeah.
at the
I mean, that was
inauguration.
inappropriate. I mean, come on. You don't wear your boobs hanging out for an inauguration unless you want everybody to look at your boobs. And she did, and they did. And by the way, it all reminds me, like the first time I sat down on a plastic-covered upholstery couch, like my grandmothers used to have when they covered all their couches and chairs in plastic. Remember? Yeah, that's what it feels like with girl. I mean, she's just a guy. Look at like a surgeon put her together. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Pete Davis, Mountains of Macon. Are you snowed in? I mean, holy crap! Like south of I-20, it's all ice and snow. It's unbelievable. Anyway, how's it going up there in Mountains of Macon, sir? Uh-oh, we lost him. We lost him. Oh, I'm sorry. Once again, sir, please go.
There, just the poor people of Macon and Perry on 75 got stuck in their trucks and their cars. And there was medical emergencies and nobody could get to them. You know, if you're going to have ice and snow on the 75 and 85, don't go.
Yeah. And again, I don't know whether they, like us, I don't know whether we took it seriously. We were wondering, I remember I said, boy, if it starts raining, I'm leaving, and it was perfect. So, I mean, I wonder whether people really thought that it was going to be
they're idiots then.
Yeah, I know.
They warned them for 3 days it was coming.
I know. I'm just, here we go. But again, it's January, and this happens a lot. I mean, it doesn't happen every year, but it happens frequently enough where, I mean, hell, we've lived through a bunch of them where we've been stuck at work. I mean, and we've talked about this before, so anyway. I feel bad for them. Yeah.
When it happens, you stay home with your family and you play in the snow and the ice. And there were people ice skating down Virginia Highlands last night.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, and of course, then farther over into the Gulf and everything got creamed and stuff. So, and of course, they have some serious problems there too. But anyway, so now Mr. Flounder and Miss Veronica, who's in there now?
He's busy.
Oh, he's working. He's got a guy in there. Oh, they're doing like business stuff. They got a guy. I see Flounder's got like 19 jobs. They only pay him for one, but the guy's got like 19 jobs, and he's got guys are coming in, giving him papers and this. Anyway, so Mr. Flounder and Miss Veronica, nuptials approaching, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm getting more reaction on the tie I should wear too. One more fashion thing, and then I've got a quick story to tell you. We got all the newsy stuff. We got the letter left for Donald Trump. We got the union police. This policing. We're going to talk a lot about that. About him letting, the police union's reaction, which they have to do. We'll talk about all this stuff. Also, Ocasio Bang Bangio Stupidio opening her big, fat, stupid bartender mouth again. Oh, my God. It's about the Nazi salute. The man's acoustic. He can't help it. He's from South Africa. He's an African-American acoustic. I mean, you can't blame the guy for that. So, Elon Musk, we'll talk about it later. Also, we've got Don't Stop Me Now. We'll talk about Donald Trump changing everything and all that stuff. Al Sharpton, DEI. Wait till you hear about the going after illegals in like Clayton County, and we got a lot of fun stuff here today. By the way, it's also Tug's birthday. I could tell because of all the party balloons and the cake left over and the streamers, and it was kind of incredible. I guess they had a big old party for. Actually, I didn't know. I saw it on the internet. So happy birthday, Tug.
Happy birthday. I
didn't hear a word. I didn't hear a thing about it this morning in the morning show. Of course, I've tried to stop listening as often because I just, I can only stand to be humiliated, like once or twice a day. If I listen to for all 9 hours that they seem to run, it just gets a little. Anyway, 307. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Okay. Just got a million things. Honestly, we got new. I'm also plugged in. If you can see me on, in fact, I probably should settle down, but it's going to change everything. I'm plugged into one of my home. I have a home blood pressure kit thing, and lately, as I'm getting older, things are changing. And in the afternoon, my head kind of feels funny, like I'm getting a rush of something, and I'm wondering whether my blood pressure changes or something. So just for kicks, I mentioned yesterday, and I'm doing it today. Brought this into work this morning for kicks. I took my blood pressure. There's 9 o'clock this morning. I'm an early. I was up at like 5 o'clock, 5:15 or something, doing stuff. But at 9 o'clock this morning, I'm checking internet stuff and writing down things and doing scripts and stuff. And at 9 o'clock, my blood pressure was 124/69. My pulse rate's always about 65, 67, something like that. But blood pressure, 9 o'clock in the morning, 124/69. At 1 o'clock this afternoon here, doing work here in the studio, 102/60.
Just above deceased. Yeah.
And at 2 o'clock this afternoon, it was 111 over 63. I am now pushing the button. I'm trapped into my the thing here on the blood pressure thing, and it's doing this. It's pumping up and stuff like that. And,
excuse me? You do have it around your arm, right? That's just your arm.
Oh, my God. I thought it was... Oh, the arm.
the upper arm.
The other arm.
Not the baby's arm.
The baby arm. Oh, God, I am so embarrassed.
That feels so good.
We're going to see what it's coming up with here now. It's good. Now it recycles. It's really cool. It has your blood pressure over the over thing and then your pulse. And my pulse, I have the chest implant thing, so my pulse is always going to be about 62, 3/4, something like that.
Well, what is it?
All right, hold it. It's winding down right now. Give me 10 seconds, I'll bet you. And I will give you the three numbers. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 97 over 60, and my pulse is 70. So my pulse is up, and my blood pressure is only 97 over 60. Is that...
I think you'd walk around a bit during the break, maybe. Breathe. Try breathing.
Well, I've got my Vocade, my Vodique iced tea.
You need Coca-Cola, my friend.
I've got sugar and caffeine. What could be wrong with that?
You need Coca-Cola, not tea. You need the Jolt. Jolt Cola.
I put extra sugar in sugar iced tea and sweetened iced tea. I mean,
that's not it. Caffeine, man. You need to jack it up a little bit.
Anyway, all right, so I'm going to take this thing off for a while. So that seems kind of low. Now, why would it be low? I thought if you're working and my mind is going crazy, I've been busy the whole damn time.
You don't exercise anymore, really.
Well, that's probably true, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's. I got a message from somebody here. I'll bet this is a doctor telling me I should
see you immediately.
Go to the hospital. It says, that thing must be broken. Yeah, I wish you were broken. I'm not even sure. That was Pete. I don't know. Anyway, 311. Okay, I'll start this story, and I'll have to finish it a little bit later. I'm sorry to move this up right here. Because we got this break coming up. Okay, and again, I swear to God, we have all the newsy stuff, and please forgive me for this, but this is really, it's just, I can't believe it. Yesterday, as I recall we were talking about, and we'll talk a lot, and you'll hear that phony bishop woman about Donald Trump in the church service yesterday. We were talking about that, and I remember bringing up that when my starter wife, who still loves and honors and respects me, and I first came to Atlanta in 1972. Our next door, we lived in a little apartment house called over on Beau Rivage. I think they've changed the name. It's now a condo on Roswell Road, just over the river, north of the river, and a beautiful little thing in the woods, a beautiful little place. And we rented a one-bedroom apartment. We had a little baby. Jennifer was just born. I just come out of graduate school in May when Jennifer was born in April, and we moved here in 1972 that summer in June or July. Our next door neighbors were Tony and his wife, and they're just the sweetest, nicest people. You could be very religious, very spiritual, and real Southern. And just talking, just as sweet as Southern people. He introduced us to all kinds of Southern stuff. It was just wonderful as they could be. Okay. Tony and his wife just took us to our first church service, and it was a Baptist church service right up the road, north on Roswell Road, in a little Baptist church. I think it's still there on the left-hand side of the road going north on a little white church. I think that was where it was. I'm sure it was. Anyway, so we go to our first Baptist church, and of course, I was born and raised in New England. I was born and raised in the Methodist church and went to an Episcopal prep school, so, in New England. Okay, so we go into this Baptist church. Everybody's very sweet and very nice, and we're sitting there in a pew, and all of a sudden, holy mackerel, Tony stands up. And I mentioned his first name yesterday, so I don't want to change, but I won't give his last name. Okay, so all of a sudden we're sitting there and the organ's playing, stuff like that, and Tony stands up and walks out of the. I'm going, oh my God! He stands up in the middle of the church service and walks out of the pew aisle down to the front of the church and just collapses and is being saved right there. I said, holy cow. I'll never forget this. The little girl playing the organ, she was so sweet. She's probably 13, and she was a babysitter in the neighborhood. We all knew her. And she's bawling like crazy and playing the organ, and we're all bawling, but he's crying, and Tony's down there crying. I said, oh my God, what an experience. It was so moving, and it was monumental. In my wildest dreams, I couldn't imagine. It was just, and it was real and honest, and we came back and it was phenomenal. And I feel kind of bad yesterday mentioning it out loud because oh my God, I mentioned his first name. Not that it's a big. This was 1972. Okay. This morning, I'm doing work at home, and the phone rings, and I didn't recognize the number, and I said, "Oh, I hope it's not that clinic thing." And I said, "I really shouldn't." I said, "Oh, hell, I'll answer it anyway." So he answered the phone, and I said, "Hello," and he said, "Is this Kim Peterson?" I said, "Who's this?" I did. I always do that. If I don't know who it is, I always get real gruff and stupid. Rough. Yeah. I said, "Yeah, who's this?" He said, "It's Tony Plunge." I said, I went, I was shocked. I said, "You've got to be kidding. 50 years. And somebody told, I don't know what, he wasn't, I don't think he knew I was in town or anything else. I don't think it was whatever. But he said somebody who knows me and knows him heard me, listened to the show and heard me talking about him and told Tony. So he gave him, I don't even know who gave him my number, my cell phone number. And he called me this morning. And I'll tell you later. I mean, I'm late for the break thing. But honestly, I mean, it was the darndest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the problem is, I hope that if Tony's listening now, I hope somebody's warned him. I'm not the same guy. I used to be a really good guy. I was, classy and dignified, and I was a news guy. I had my picture in bank windows. I was respected. I mean, I'm way not the same guy I was in 1972. So if he's listening now, Tony, hold your breath, man. And you really ought to go back to PBS or something, or some nice religion. He's a very sweet man, just as spiritual and nice as he can be. And I think he's in for a horrible awakening if this is the first time he's tuning into my show.
Now you have photos in post offices.
Yeah, instead of bank windows, you got that right. 3:50, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder here. It's hump day, my God, man.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Well, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer and 106.3 with Pete and Flounder. Anyway, more about that later. Just to finish up a thing with this stuff. But I'm smiling already. In fact, I just confirmed my appointment with Atlanta Smiles, my official Kimmer dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler, dentist to the stars. Well, they included me there too. I mean, seriously, she was dentist who all the guys on radio for crying back 20, 30 years ago. I've been to her when she was doing cosmetic dentistry back before people knew what veneers were. She for cleaning and bridges and crowns, and I had some stuff worked done. I had a thing down there, and now I'm going back next week to get a little thing put in the thing there, and I'm looking forward to it because not only she's a great dentist, and by the way, I mentioned the Kimmer babes here. There's a guy dentist there. I mean, there's a doctor, a guy, but it's office filled with Kimmer babes, and these women are just the happiest, nicest, most nurturing, pleasant women, happy women to be around. I mean, they love America. They love what they do. It's just a nice, honest to goodness, the whole atmosphere. And part of it is now, and they didn't do this 30 years ago. Dr. Dina didn't have to do this. She came up with this great idea, I guess. She has a little bitty doggy, and if you'd like, she'll put the doggy in your lap while you're getting your work done. So, honest to God, the last time I was there, I took a video of it, and when I go back, I'm going to do it again. Even though I know when I go back, I don't think I'm going to need to do anything for a serious thing. I'm getting fitted or doing I don't know what they're doing. But I'm going to have the doggy just to show you. It's the sweetest thing. Don't forget, and again, they do all the work and all the stuff. They're real pros, and honestly, you just love everything. Veterans get a 10% discount. She was a Navy dental officer, by the way. 10% discount. Just tell them when you call this number, 404-262-7733. They've got your waiting, and they got the doggy. They got your smile. AtlantaSmiles.com.
There are crazies on the road. Who knows where they're all going, but if one of them hits you, don't take care of it on your own. Call my friend David Vansant. He is the lawyer that used to work for the insurance company. The team at Vansant Law knows who to call, what to say, and will make sure you get what you deserve and what the insurance company doesn't want to pay for. They have your best interest at heart and will take care of everything. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid. My advice, save Vansant Law in your phone. Today, 855-GA-INJURY, vansantlaw.com.
It's cold in Atlanta right now, and we're not just talking about the pro football team.
It's time to wake up, people, and it starts with us. Hey, it's Tug and Rhino. Want to see us take the plunge?
It's the 2025 Polar Plunge to support Special Olympics Georgia. From now until February 2nd, go to SpecialOlympicsGA.org and make a donation on behalf of us and our friends at 680 The Fan.
If we can raise $2,500 or more, us too are taking the plunge at Ackworth Beach on February 22nd.
And all donations support Special Olympics Georgia. Donate now at SpecialOlympicsGA.org and click on the Polar Plunge link.
You may know that ATL Turfco has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services. But you may not know that ATL Turfco is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Georgia Tech men's basketball single-game tickets are now on sale. After home wins over Duke and North Carolina last year, head coach Damon Stoudemire and the Yellow Jackets are set to take flight and swarm the ACC once again. Kelly strides at the right sideline, sets up Coleman into the right corner, Reeves a three, good! And that was with a hand in his face. Don't miss a moment of the action in the Thriller Dome this year by getting your tickets today at RamlinRec.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
While we may have won this election, the fight to restore our great nation is truly only beginning. Patriot Mobile is leading the charge. As America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, Patriot Mobile offers a way to vote with your wallet without compromising on quality or convenience. Patriot Mobile isn't just about providing exceptional cell phone service. It's a call to action to defend our rights and our freedoms. With Patriot Mobile, you'll get outstanding nationwide coverage, the same that you have from your other providers, because they operate on all three major networks. But the difference is, every dollar you spend supports the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, our veterans and first responders. Switching is easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their 100% U.S.-based customer support team will help you find the perfect plan. Right now, go to patriotmobile.com/Beck or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with promo code Beck. Switch to Patriot Mobile today and defend freedom with every call and every text you make. Visit patriotmobile.com/Beck or call 972-PATRIOT.
They took the credit for your second symphony.
Here we go.
Rewritten by machine on new technology. And now I understand the problems you could see.
By the way, I like this song. It's a good sing-along song. Here we go. MTV, baby, look out. 1983, the new 24-hour music video network MTV started broadcasting to the West Coast, being picked up by Group W Cable in Los Angeles with the Buggles, and video killed the radio star. Hardly. But what? Here we go, a little more there, Bob. Sure. Video killed the radio star. What? You don't
corporate malfeasance is what, and greed is what killed the radio star.
Well, yeah, that's true. But again, boy, what a change in the day. Remember the days of payola. I mean, you're too young, but in the 50s, I grew up in that as a kid, and rock and roll was a whole
consolidation makes payola look like a walk in the park.
I know. Well, and again, of course, then all of a sudden Taylor Swift started changing a lot of things about who got to listen to what on the radio and everything else. I mean, what a
you know, the girl who's doing the Nazi salutes, her?
Yeah. Yeah, and Superman has been doing, every time he flies, he's doing the Nazis. Oh, we'll talk about the Casio Bang Bang, you stupidio, here in a second. Hold everything. Quickly to Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 322. We have actually newsy stuff. First, I got to do my thing. It's a birthday list. Diane Lane is 60. Yeah. She was in that slutty movie where she cheated called Unfaithful, The Perfect Storm, Rumblefish. She was in Secretariat, The Outsiders, Judge Dredd, Superman's Mom and Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League. She was married once to both Josh Brolin and Highlander star Christopher Lambert.
Same time?
Apparently not. I guess she probably, found somebody better and then went back to the other better one. I don't know. It's hard, it's hard to tell which one they find is better. I mean, God, at some point. Anyway, Diane Lane is 60. She's beautiful, but she's a terrible actress. I'm sorry. I mean, when she was in Secretariat, like she's trying to pretend that, you can run, big boy. I know you can do it, big boy. I thought, oh, God, stop. You're killing me here. I mean, a woman can't act, but she sure is purty. Have a handsome woman, very handsome one. I got a history thing here for you, and then I got to apologize to my friend Tony, who didn't know I was around 50 years later. poor bastard. On this day in 1946, the Central Intelligence Group, the CIG, is established by U.S. President Harry S. Truman, later replaced by the Central Intelligence Agency rather than Group. 2 days later, Harry Truman gave staff members black cloaks, black hats, and wooden daggers, calling them, quote, the Cloak and Dagger Group of Snoopers. As a little joke, 1946. And by the way, the movie, Pete, did you ever see the movie The Good Shepherd?
No.
With Matt Damon and a pretty good cast. The movie is about the beginning of the CIA. And it's actually, the movie itself is a great movie, but Matt Damon is horrible in it. He's just a terrible, underacted, it's just, they dress him up in a hat with glasses, and he doesn't say much to be the CIA director who's really so secretive, no one ever knows what he's thinking. It's just, the idea is right, but he's horrible in it. But the movie's good. The Good Shepherd, if you ever see it, I recommend it, but he's not very good, but it's a great movie. Enjoy. Okay, sorry. I'll be done. 3 o'clock hour brought to you by First Liberty Building and Loan, man. We say yes when the big banks say no. FirstLibertyGA.com. What's the matter?
You never know when a movie review is going to be dropped in the camera show.
It could happen. Again, let me finish the poor Tony, this guy, our next door. Just
oh, my God.
No, I got to finish. No, I know, but I had to apologize to him because he has no idea. He didn't know anything about anything, but someone called him and said, hey, remember that guy you used to live next to across the street at the apartment complex? Well, he's on the radio, and he was talking about you being saved in church, and it was really a moving thing, So now the poor guy's probably listening, saying, gee, I wonder what he's like. Okay, I'm not the same guy, just for the record. And by the way, Tony introduced me and my wife to Southern style, Southern culture. He recommended, when we were going to go to our first Friday night football game, high school football game with him, he said, by the way, we kind of dress up down here for going to foot. We don't just wear jeans and T-shirts, just for the record, just in case. Sorry, just because I probably wouldn't known that you don't get a little more gussied up when you go to high school football games down here too. And he also, what a nice guy. These all of his friends, they let me play on their softball team. I was 32 or 3 years old. I hadn't played softball in 15 years, or baseball anyway. And so they put me on the team, and I didn't do very well. And then one day I got to bat, and I hit a great hit, and I made a great play in the outfit, and they let me play for a while. So that was kind of cool. Anyway, Tony, if you're listening, I know this is really personal and stupid, but you're in for it, my friend, because I'm kind of a screamer and a yeller, and I'm not the same guy I used to be when I was respected. They actually put me in bank windows and a picture about the news, covering the news. All right, hold on. 326. Okay. Donald Trump's letter he got from President Slimeface. Again, that President Slimeface is not a nice old man. He's a disgrace. And the more I think about him pardoning his whole family so that they can hide evidence about the family corruption. Every one of those members of the sisters and the wives and everybody in that stinking family has now been corrupted, and we know it for sure because they got money. And the only reason he pardoned them is so they can't testify, or they can think they can get away with testifying, or they can't be charged with a crime for taking money from money laundering. Oh, by the way, I heard this morning, Flounder, I don't know whether they still have the soundbite in there. I heard Comer, the congressman, head of the Intelligence Committee, who said they found even more bank records, even more offshore accounts, proving that one of the checks they got from the family offshore account went to Joe Biden in the amount of $200,000. They've got the money trail. Let's go get him. Okay, anyway. And this letter he sent to him, screw his letter. The letter, may God bless you and guide you as he blessed and guided our beloved country since our founding. You're guided my butt. You dirty, freaking, stealthy child molester, pervert. I'm sorry, what do you got there, Flounder? Something there for me? Or was that me? My mic is loose. That was you. Okay, my thing is loose in here, so once in a while it goes dead, and I think I've died. I know, you stop pushing. 327. Okay, the police union. Here, we have to talk about this, and it's going to be a lot. The Fraternal Order of Police, largest police union, condemns Donald Trump's pardons for January 6th as a dangerous message. Crimes against law enforcement, not just attacks on individuals or public safety, they are attacks on society and undermine the rule of law. Allowing those convicted of these crimes to be released early diminishes accountability and devalues the sacrifices made by courageous law enforcement officers and the family. Well, we know all of that. All those things are true. And you know, I'm a cop guy. I used to be a special deputy a couple of times with an actual badge sworn in and everything. So I'm a cop guy. I'm a cop guy. And if you're a police officer and you're offended that a guy, threw a hammer at a police officer or, pushed him over or hit him, and one guy hit a cop in the neck and choked him or something like that, obviously they should be punished and obviously they should go to jail. You can't pretend like it didn't happen. I totally support you. On the other hand, let's remember, let's put a couple things in freaking perspective. Before you make any final decisions on what happened on January 6th and those police officers who were supposedly injured so badly there, let's remember, I never heard a word from the fraternal order of anybody about that rogue police officer murdering an unarmed woman protester and lauded him as a freaking hero. I never heard anybody complaining about all the riots that tore apart this country in 2020. About George Floyd burning down police stations, for God's sake, throwing firebombs into police vehicles. I mean, holy crap. Nobody complained when Donald Trump tried to get you guys out to support things and calm down things, and nobody complained about preventing him from doing that. I mean, we could go on and on and on. And again, if you're complaining about the Trump thing, I support you, and I can't condemn you, and I agree with you, and over and over. However, before you make a final decision, wait till the report on January 6th finally comes out, because you're going to find out that some of those cops were in on it. In fact, if you didn't see Jesse Waters last night, he had two of the people who were arrested and charged with federal crimes who were victims of lies by the police and the FBI to make them plead guilty on the threat of going to prison for about 12 years because one woman touched a desk in the Capitol. They accused her of stealing it, trying to steal government property, interrupting federal services and congressional, daily business. Boy, oh my God! I mean, it goes on and on and on. We'll get to it more here in a second. I'm a little late for the thing here. So I mean, I got a million other questions too. Nobody complained about the fake FBI guys and the fake bombs. Taking off handcuffs of their insiders and congratulate them after during the arrest. Oh my God! I mean, well, we got so much more of this. Also, you're going to hear that phony freaking bishop talk about, oh my God, out to get Donald Trump. She did not minister to anybody except her own political party. What a disgrace in the freaking pulpit. 331, Kimmer, Feed and Flounder. All right.
Trump has done many things to help to correct the disastrous efforts of Joe Biden. Chief among them is shutting down the border.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. When times get tough, where do you keep your stuff? Answer, in a quality safe from the Safe House, of course. Don't go to a big box store and get a fake safe. That would be as effective as Joe Biden's fake border policy. For over 30 years, the Safe House has been providing the best quality safes on the market. Brands like Browning, Fort Knox, and Champion. And with the largest selection of safes on display in Georgia, we're confident we can help you pick the right safe to fit your needs. So drop by our huge showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Start the new year in style behind the wheel of a brand new Cadillac from Jim Ellis Cadillac. From the iconic Escalade to the innovative electric Lyric, Jim Ellis Cadillac offers the models you know and love, along with the latest in luxury EVs.
And the buying experience, just as luxurious as the Cadillac name itself. With great prices, a great selection, and a team of knowledgeable sales associates, you'll love shopping at their showroom, conveniently located on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter.
Prefer to shop from home? Visit JimEllisCadillac.com, where you can browse all the latest offers and even start or complete your entire purchase online with the Jim Ellis Expressway.
Want to try before you buy? Schedule an at-home test drive and enjoy the convenience of home vehicle delivery.
Start the new year right. Experience luxury like never before at Jim Ellis Cadillac. Jim Ellis Cadillac, where you can always expect the best.
Jim Ellis, expect the best.
Kevin McAlpin here alongside Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan, heard right here on XTRA 106.3. And Evan, many Americans think having a well-funded 401k means they will have a comfortable retirement. But the question I have is is that really all we need?
Kevin, that's a great question. The way the analogy I use is it's like having a really, really good play in your game, but a good play isn't a game plan. That'll work once. It's limited. What we want is a plan, a game plan throughout the entire course of your retirement that we know is set you up for success. 401ks are a great savings tool, but they're not a plan. They're a play. And so what we do is we put together an income plan as well as an investment plan to make sure that you are taking the stress out of your retirement. You've worked too long, too hard. You've made all the right decisions, sacrificed to get to this point. You've got it down to the 1 yard line. Now you need a game plan to finish it off, and that's what we provide.
And let's be honest, we stress for 30, 40 years in the workforce. That's the last thing you want to have to deal with when you get to retirement, right?
Of course, the whole point, our philosophy is let's take the stress out of retirement so that you know this new phase of your life is going to be the thing you've been working so long to enjoy.
That's the last thing you want when it comes to your retirement is stress. If it sounds like you, pick up the phone, call Evan and the team at Atlas Retirement today for a complimentary 401k X-ray. That number is 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Or get more details anytime online. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Look out. I think your health insurance premiums just went up again. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? Hey, I got great news. If you're tired of those skyrocketing health insurance premiums, introducing Trump Care. If you're healthy and self-employed, small business owner, close to Medicare, even on a COBRA plan, Health Insurance Doctors got you covered. How about saving up to 60% on annual premiums with Trump Care plans? Nationwide PPO network lets you see any doctor, any hospital, plus zero deductibles, no co-pays. The best part, plans are available year-round. No more open enrollment, no hard-to-get subsidies, no IRS penalties. Oh, guess what? It's free to you. You don't have to pay them to do it. The Health Insurance Doctor for decades, proudly serving the metro Atlanta area. Thousands of happy customers. Here's a free number to get a quote, 678-523-0759. Visit healthinsurancedoctor.net. Here's the number again. Again, there's no charge to you. 678-523-0759. On the web, healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Attention warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Lines Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Lines Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on XTRA 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Timber, Pete, and Flounder, 336. Look out. No, I could see it, baby. It just says Holly was beating her. 1981, a fire destroyed the recording studio belonging to Ike and Tina Turner, raging through the large structure for 54 hours before they brought it under control. That's 2 days plus. Bullock Sound Studios in Inglewood, California, built by Ike Turner in 1970. Between times he was hitting her in the face, I guess, and punching her in the stomach. Artists who recorded at Bullock Sound included Paul McCartney, George Harrison, the Rolling Stones, and Frank Zappa. Ike and Tina Turner's hit single Nutbush City Limits was recorded there in 1973. I have her Better Stop Messing With Me. What is it? Better Stop Goofing With Me. Better Stop Infecting Me. Something. What was it? Better Don't Be Fooling Around With Me. God, get your fooling around with me. What the hell's that song? I love that song. Yeah, Tina Turner. Don't you be fooling with me. Better stop protecting me. Something like that. What the hell? Oh, I hate when I do this.
Better be good to me.
Be good to me. Thank you so much. Fun finally had enough.
I love how you let him twist in the wind there.
Thanks a lot. He was sitting there going, I wonder how long I can make him do this. Thanks a lot.
Dancing.
I don't know anything about it.
Dance, stranger, dance.
Okay, fine. Oh, Lord. Our birthday list includes Guy Fieri. The celebrity chef guy, 57. Although I think he did something. Did he get in trouble for something? Or everybody's doing something. I don't know. I don't care about these people. I do. Oh, I got it. This day in 1980, got a little Kimmer history thing here for you. The infamous portrait of John and Yoko. May have seen the Annie Leibovitz portrait of John Lennon and Yoko for the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, published on this day in 1981. It featured a naked John Lennon curled up in a fetal position embrace of a fully clothed Yoko. Many are unaware that the photo was taken December 8th, 1980, 12 hours before Lennon was shot to death. Andy Leibovitz was given instructions from the editor of the Time to get some pictures without Yoko, but when she arrived at Lennon's home, he told her he wanted the pictures to include her. While not happy with this arrangement, Leibovitz went along with the request. It turns out this portrait is one of her most famous. And if you've never seen it before, there you go. Anyway, no, she didn't do the one of them totally nude. That was just like that was like a Polaroid or something, wasn't it? And that was disgusting. I'm sorry. I mean, good. Ugh, sorry. Anyway, okay, here we go. 3:39. I'm going to do actually newsy stuff here, I promise. One more thing. In terms of the policing, again, if you're a cop and you're offended by the pardons from Donald Trump for the police stuff, God bless you. I understand and I agree with you, but I also have, let's put everything in perspective about all that's going on since the freaking days of George Floyd. How about, I didn't hear anybody reacting to the fact that President Scumbag and the crime family also pardoned Leonard Pelletier, who was the Indian who killed two federal FBI agents. How about all the pardons that Biden just admitted for all the crime family people that the January 6th. Anyway, on and on and on. I guess I'm
not that upset with Pelletier. I'm afraid.
Well, I mean, obviously he deserved it. He served time. Yeah. Well, anyway, so here we go. But again, by the way, this whole thing of the pardons and this stuff, especially since the last 8 years, but especially since Puttitat ruined everything and turned the country against each other, the worst divisive, hate-filled president we've ever had was Barack Hussein Puttitat. And that whole time, we have to look back and say, boy, I'm glad that's over. Let's not have it happen again. Let's get to the bottom of what happened on January 6th and hiding the evidence and trying to make sure that the public didn't understand what the truth was and get to the bottom of that. And then say, everybody had a problem. People who normally wouldn't go into a Capitol and protest were there and got all riled up. Police officers who normally wouldn't do things. Everybody was all screwed up. The rioting and the protest, and let's not forget the Democrat protesters were all treated like freaking heroes, and the people that Donald Trump pardoned, who went to prison and were tortured, were abused when they were treated totally different than the people who were actually guilty and got away with it. And the Trump people did. Okay, I'll tell one quick story. Jesse Waters last night. He had two people on. One was a guy, I've got my notes here somewhere. Hold on. One was a guy who took pictures for eight minutes outside the studio. He was told that he was part of a conspiracy, that the FBI agents and the police on the scene testified that he had told people, go forward, go in there, get going, stuff like that. He never did. That was not him. It was not true. The FBI, he was identified, the FBI raided his house. A guy, he never went in the Capitol. He was taking video pictures outside the Capitol for 8 minutes. The FBI raided his house at 5 o'clock in the morning, handcuffed him, and took everything electronic out of his house to investigate him. Then they said, we're charging you with a federal complaint for conspiracy to riot, a federal complaint of federal charges, felonies for interrupting the congressional sessions and the business of Congress, on and on and on. You're facing like 35 years or something. He pleaded guilty to get out of it, but he said, I didn't do anything. But they strong-armed him. This is what the FBI and the police lied about it, and the FBI lied about it. Jesse had a girl on last night, young, kind of freaky-looking chick, but still like 25-year-old looking girl, and she went into the Capitol, which is illegal, and put her hand on one of the desks. The police identified her in video. The police on the scene had testified before the court that she was trying to steal furniture from the Capitol, trying to steal federal belongings in the office for whatever, for felony charges, and so she pleaded guilty to get out of that too. That was the treatment they were giving these people. I mean, come on. And by the way, if the people knew all the stuff there were 1,000 stories like this. made up lies, fakes. And by the way, they were not treated. They were not treated as heroes. They were treated as suspects for tearing down America. They were almost. You can't really call it torture, but they were sure mistreated. For the record. And by the way, a quick thing. We'll play some sound bites here, Flounder. I'm going to play that stupid, phony freaking Bishop here in a second. Donald Trump issued a pardon for the guy named Ross Ulbricht from Silk Road. I don't even know. I didn't know that till today. Dark website. He was charged with selling drugs over the dark web. He's a libertarian, and he said people ought to have the right to get the drugs they want. I guess that was money laundering or something. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years for having a dark web that sold drugs. 2 life sentences. He's 40 years old. He was convicted 10 years ago, and now he's going to get out. Money laundering, computer hacking. Oh, my God. Hunter Biden did stuff like that. The whole Biden family did stuff like that. Money laundering, lying on computer hack. Oh, my God. Well, I guess they should get life terms. Anyway, stuff like that. Okay. Donald Trump says he wants an apology. Boy, I don't blame him. Donald Trump wants an apology for that phony freaking bishop chick who was on did the church service, that Marianne Budd from the Church of the Dangling Testicality Leftism, or whatever she calls her, the thing, back in 2020 when the Democrat socialists were burning down the whole freaking property. Listen to what she said when she was on PBS. Cut number 3, I believe this on, Flounder. When she was on PBS when they tried to burn down her church, listen to what she said. And catch the name of a certain person here in this cut number 3, this phony reverend.
We are upset about the fire as well, but that is not our primary focus. Our primary focus is the reason behind, the fundamental reasons behind the protests in our country right now. There is a deep desire for the fundamental issues at stake brought to light by the murderous death of George Floyd and the countless others that we've witnessed in this long string of violence against Black and brown people, that needs to be addressed in a systemic, fundamental way from every police department in the country and the vigilante civilian actions that are taken. The gospel of Jesus and the teachings of the scripture are antithetical to the messages that he is communicating and the way he's responding to people in this moment, and that there is no spiritual mantle of authority for the actions that he had just moments before said that he would take.
You told the Washington Post yesterday, and I'm quoting, everything this president has said and done is to inflame violence. We need moral leadership, and he's done everything to divide us. Is there any way to begin to heal this breach that you're describing?
Oh, please.
Well, we see examples of people attempting that across the country. The police officials and officers who are moving into the crowds to speak to them, the people who are acknowledging pain and seeking to make
that's fine.
Fundamental.
The point on that was for the murderous George Floyd. But I mean, and by the way,
okay, who let the Episcopalians in charge of the National Cathedral? Is this a thing?
Yeah.
Are they running it? Who decided that? Are any federal funds used to build this thing? Is any federal funds being used to keep it up? Because otherwise, take the funds away, let them pass the hat, and see if they keep the heat on.
Right, absolutely. This is so inappropriate.
I didn't vote for the Episcopalians to take over the National Cathedral. How the hell did that happen?
Well, let me ask you this: who do you think?
There's 40 of them left in the country, and it's a country club. It's not a church. Who the hell let them in charge?
Yeah. Well, they did. They do whatever they want. And by the way, she's a minister. Who is she ministering to? Some minister. Anyway, we got there, and there's more. You'll hear some more of her too, by the way. And when you hear Ocasio Bang Bang is Stupidio. And by the way, Flounder, all my numbers are now not your numbers. So I didn't know you changed them. I'm going to come in with you here in a second because this is way off. All right, give her Pete and Flounder 347 404 741 1230 if you'd like to join us. And please do. Hump Day. Look out.
Hey, it's Tug. The Morning Extra has you covered from 6 to 10, and Kimmer's got you on the ride home.
By the way, for the record, screw the TikTok. Too bad if your children will hate you the rest of your life. It's a Chinese spy agency. Why should we allow it? Duh. My God. I mean, isn't it that simple, really? Even the Chinese will not allow the TikTok app in China. All right, let me say that again. The Communist Chinese Party will not allow TikTok in China.
Balance the scales here. What's worse? The Chinese military owning and operating that and spying on us by using it, or demonic American popular culture being sent over to China.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, let's see. I can't decide. I just can't decide.
It's a lose-lose, I think.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Sonder's offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Toro and Howard Brothers. Are you ready to tackle your lawn this cutting season? Get ahead of the game with Toro and Howard Brothers before spring is here. Now is the perfect time to prepare for spring with the trusted performance of Toro. Toro mowers are built to handle Georgia's toughest lawns with precision and durability on your side. Head to your local Howard Brothers and find the exact Toro mower to make your spring lawn care a breeze. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Toro and Howard Brothers.
Are you tired of dealing with loud, ugly, drafty garage doors? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Now is a great time to upgrade with brand new, efficient, quiet, and beautiful garage doors. Your garage door is the biggest opening in your home, which is why it's such an important part of your home's curb appeal and energy efficiency. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078. Get started today by visiting us at allfourseasonsgarages.com.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
The older I get, the more I think about trust. I think about the people in my life who have my trust and earned my trust, and the trust that I have placed in some people who I later learned abused that trust. I know we're alike in that way. We don't trust a lot of people anymore. It's like we're all Ronald Reagan, trust but always verify to make sure we're not making a mistake. I find it a little exhausting, quite honestly, and that's why I started realestateagentsitrust.com. I didn't have good experiences with buying and selling my homes. So we built Real Estate Agents I Trust to introduce you to one of the thousands of agents all over the country that we work with that we have verified that they will help you have the most successful and good real estate transaction possible. Our network agents share our sensibilities, have great track records, are good and decent people, and I trust them to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, visit realestateagentsitrust.com. The name says it all, realestateagentsitrust.com.
Oh, yikes. No, it's all good. Everything's good here. Here we go.
What's wrong with you? I wish I knew.
We got a lot of Beatles stuff today. And Beatle
no, it's not Beatles.
And I said, and Beatle people. We have a lot of Beatles stuff and Beatle people. I would say Paul McCartney's a Beatle person.
One of the great live albums of all time, Wings Across America.
There you are.
Set.
1977. Old Paul went to number one. The triple live album, Wings Over America. Sixth number one after the Beatles. The album cover designed by Hypnosis. Nominated in 1978 for a Grammy Award for Best Album Package for the album. It depicts an airliner about to open its cabin door. They get a Grammy for the best album cover? What the hell? Okay.
I think this is Denny Lane singing too, not Paul.
Really? God, he went from
one of the other guys.
Went from gambling and pitching a 30-game winner for the Detroit Tigers, went into music. Oh, that's unbelievable.
That's Denny McLean, not Denny Lane.
I thought it was the same.
Former Moody Blues. By the way, Joe English, who was the drummer for Paul McCartney and Wings, was from Georgia, had a farm here that Paul would visit when they play Atlanta.
Well, I'll be damned.
And he wrote Junior's Farm, the song about that.
Well, there you are. Was he in the tree business too? A lot of these guys.
No, that was Chuck Lavelle of the Stones and Almonds. Yeah, he still does his tree stuff. Yeah.
I thought 353. Kim repeat and flounder 404-741-1230 1230. If you'd like to join us, 27 years ago, 1998, Mary Bono. The widow of Sonny Bono announced that she would run for the congressional seat held by her late terrible skier of a husband, Sonny. I almost did the same thing at the same thing. Anyway, for some reason, she won the congressional seat, and the joke back then was that as soon as he found out that she was a member of Congress, Ted Kennedy sent a drink over to her. I almost killed myself skiing once into a snow. Downhill as fast as I could go, and I got out of control. I'll tell you what. No kidding. I don't want to play any more of that stupid minister. We'll do it again after 4 o'clock sometime. The whole thing just makes me sick. She took the opportunity to do one thing, and that was to humiliate the President of the United States from the freaking pulpit on the national prayer service. That's just nasty. That's just vicious, mean, black-hearted nasty. That's not a minister. That's not ministering to your people for political purposes. And you're going to hear more about it later on. It just makes you go nuts. Okay, Ocasio Bang-Bangio Stupidio. Holy cow. They're still talking about the Elon Musk pouring his heart out to the people at the addressing the audience for the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Well, this is what victory looks like. He put his hand to his chest and the other arm out to salute all of his friends. And Ocasio Bang-Bangio Stupidio, cut number 4 here, I believe, Flounder, says this about what she saw. Hey, Ocasio, Bang-Bangio.
This is the United States of America.
Really?
And I don't care what Elon Musk is doing behind a presidential seal. In this country, we hate Nazis. Kind of like a foundational defining thing.
No, you hate Jews.
Two of probably the most foundational defining things about American history is that we beat the Confederates and we beat the Nazis.
You love the Nazis.
I don't know what side people may be on today, but I still am not rocking
with the Nazis,
with anyone sympathetic to Nazis. And I will do that until I am 6 feet in the ground.
Oh, God, please.
Like, kind of foundational to me as a human being. And so if you're cool and want to defend the Sig Heils and the Nazi salutes, whatever you want to do, that's on you. I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not with
listening
the Nazis.
to this.
How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you,
Okay, that's a complete lie. She's pro-Palestinian, she's pro-Hamas,
Jews.
and they literally walk around with pro-Hitler and pro-Nazi propaganda.
She's a Jew hater, and she's picking on the guy just because he's an acrylic. The man is special. Elon Musk is an acoustic or whatever they call with the metal thing where he's what do you call that anyway? This is outrageous.
You got a sitting U.S. Senator, Chris Murphy, who's calling him a Nazi.
Yeah.
And it's either he's very stupid or this is pure propaganda and he thinks everybody's stupid. In fact, his voters are. They'll believe anything he says. If anyone believes that a man who went to Auschwitz last year with Ben Shapiro, who prayed with Benjamin Netanyahu about the hostage situations, if they think that man's a Nazi, they're just insane.
And they're doing it on purpose. Again, this has nothing to do with anything except that the Democrats want to make sure anything they can do to break apart the team of the administration coming in now and throw another monkey wrench into what's happening with Donald Trump's administration every single day. This is not an issue. Elon Musk did a Nazi salute to how is this even a thing? And it's everywhere. And we have to talk about it to try to condemn it. And not by condemning it, we're talking about it. Just exactly what they want.
And guess, by making us talk about that, we're not talking about what happened at Columbia University again yesterday.
That's right.
We're completely covered from head to toe. The Palestinians and the pro-Palestinian students here walked into a classroom of Jewish history taught by a Jewish Israeli, and they basically went in there with cameras and videos and got up in the faces of the Jewish kids to take their photos.
Yeah.
This is forming a database so they know who the kids are and they know where they are. This is if the Nazis in 1938 in Berlin walked into a synagogue with the film cameras going. Why are they doing that? Because they're getting the database ready. And for those people to sit there and not take those cameras and smash it through their skulls and not rip their damn headdresses off, that just kills me. The professor tried to talk to them. There's no talking to evil.
No.
You got to beat it down to the ground and put it in the hospital or the morgue. They've got to stop that. In Columbia University, every single nickel of federal money needs to be taken now and taken out of that place.
Yeah. I know it's disgraceful.
And that's right there in New York City. She's talking, this is a foundation thing that we don't like Nazis. Well, get your ass down there and stop the Nazis that are pro-Palestinian and pro-demonic evil and stop them from going after the Jewish kids.
Yeah. This, again, these are Jew haters who are now pretending that they're trying to protect the rights of
cowards
Jewish
with masks on.
Are you serious? I mean, next we're going to have Crystal Night.
Crystal Night, yeah.
Unbelievable. Do I have time for real Founders Funny here, Flounder? But I'm blowing the whole segment. Oh, there we go. Nucky's Hoagie sponsor. You have a little
context. This is an old, like an 89-year-old guy doing one-liners.
I love it. I love this guy.
Went into an antique store. They wouldn't let me leave.
Antique store wouldn't let him leave.
I tried using that face aging app. They said, "Nah, you're good." Anybody ever drop their phone in the toilet? There you go. I did, and after I did, I put my phone in a bag of rice. Anybody ever drop a bag of rice in the toilet? I joined a dating site for people my age called Carbon Dating. Used to smoke cigarettes. I was a heavy smoker. I would even smoke when I went jogging, which is stupid, of course. So I quit jogging.
Who's that there, Flounder?
I haven't gotten his name. It's just old guy with funny one-liners.
Yeah, he is a funny guy. Coming up on 4 o'clock, Trevor, Pete, and Flounder. And also, the people are reacting to going back to work thanks to Donald Trump. And Carmela, another word salad. It's all coming up. 4 o'clock, Trevor, Pete, and Flounder. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
In order to seal the border, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House just confirming President Trump signed an executive order that, quote, suspends physical entry of aliens engaged in an invasion through the U.S. southern border. This as the Pentagon sends more active duty troops to the border, joining service members already there. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt just telling Fox News.
This is welcome news from the American people. He is delivering on the promises he made to them already.
Some of the other immigration-related orders are already being challenged in court. President Trump criticizing President Biden's last-minute preemptive pardons for family members and January 6th investigators, telling Fox's Sean Hannity he had options before leaving office.
I was given the option. They said, sure, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself? I said, I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong. And we had people that suffered. They're incredible patriots. We had people that suffered.
Mentioning former advisors sent to prison for defying congressional subpoenas.
This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
That interview airs tonight, 9 Eastern on Fox News Channel. This as Democrats express outrage over President Trump's pardons and other clemency this week for hundreds of Capitol riot defendants. Police in Nashville say a 17-year-old opened fire at a high school cafeteria today.
The individual wounded 2 other students, one of them fatally, before shooting and killing himself.
Police spokesperson Don Aaron says the shooter was already down when school resource officers got to the cafeteria. There's been no word on any possible motive. The Dow finishing up 130 points at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily. It helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4.
Really?
Did you write the book of love? And do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so.
Don McLean, American
Pie. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow?
1972, Don McLean's American Pie started a 7-week run at number 1. Second studio album dedicated to Buddy Holly, one of his childhood icons, and featured both the chart-topping singles American Pie, number 1 for 4 weeks, and Vincent, which I love. I have that song on my music stick, and I love to sing along with that song. It's just beautiful. The phrase, the day... The music died. An American Pie refers to the plane crash 1959 that killed early rock and roll stars Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens, ending an early era of rock and roll. Became the popular nickname for that crash. The day that I died. Don McLean, 1972. Kimmer Pete and Philander, 404-741-1230. Our birthday list includes Teddy Gentry from Alabama. Is not necessarily the state, the group, 73 years old today. And, now I just lost it. Oh, here we go. I got it right back here. Mr. Phone kind of failed me here. But here we go. 1984, on this very day, most Americans introduced to Apple's Macintosh personal computer during the Super Bowl on this day in 1984. The promo commercial, simply titled 1984, was created by Ridley Scott for $1.5 million, and it was only shown once. The Super Bowl, remember the boom, bomb, boom, and the gray, black and white, and oh my God. People have called the commercial a masterpiece, more successful than the Mac itself. The futuristic commercial, alluding to George Orwell's novel, 1984, was in a way trying to show how Apple could save humanity by giving them a choice besides an IBM computer. 1984, the Super Bowl. Man, I remember it was scary. I mean, it was, but again, 1984. And let me ask you this. We got Kimmer, Pete, and Fonda. We got all the newsy stuff and all that kind of stuff like that. But let me ask you this. I heard him talking about this morning with this. The Donald Trump announced a $500 billion investment for AI. And I guess it's to ensure that the government is in on AI development so that nobody can pull a fast one kind of thing, which I don't know how the hell that's going to be true. But let me ask you this. All of a sudden now, when this was announced, all the news people were marching on people saying, oh, this is going to help us solve cancer problems. And everybody's saying, boy, this is going to be great. We're going to be able to put a cell from your body into this AI machine, and it's going to tell us what you're going to get and how to treat it and do the thing and such and such. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me get this straight. This AI thing is going to be so clever that it can decide what to do with blood things and stuff. And, they teach themselves, they can train themselves, this AI, whoever these brains are inside these machines. So what's to prevent them from just one day saying, hey, I got an idea. Let's give this guy cancer, see how he deals with the treatment. What's to prevent them from just doing whatever they want? Pulling a joke one day or saying, oh, that guy doesn't deserve to get his cancer treatments. Look at the blood. Look what he's been doing this whole life, drinking and horning around. I mean, the whole thing is just mind-boggling.
I'm watching this show called Foundation on Apple, and Isaac Asimov wrote these books in the 1950s with the 3 laws of robotics, but they couldn't harm humans, blah, blah, blah. And the main problem that happened with them, why they had to get rid of them, is because they decided they were almost as human as we were, and they wanted equal rights. And the humans said no. So they said, no, we get equal rights or else, and then all hell broke loose.
Okay, am I incorrect in believing that even the guy, there's one guy's name I can't remember, who kind of invented all this, Sam somebody or whatever, who invented all this, has already said we don't really know what we're doing and where this is going to go? I mean, that's true, right? I mean, so even the people who started this don't know what we have.
Oh, they're afraid. He said he was afraid of what's going to happen.
There's something. I mean, again, this is Terminator 9. I mean, seriously, what's to stop the machines from saying, well, we really don't need these people? I mean, my God.
On the other side, I read an article where they're taking these quantum computers and everything, and AI, are taking normal dirt in the yard and going through all the dirt to find the bacteria that's making the best new antibiotics and putting them together. It would take us eons to do that by ourselves. And these AIs are doing it in a matter of hours.
Well, I see that's the thing. God bless America. I mean, the people who thought of this can do. I mean, the benefits ahead of us, and I mean the life-saving things. Although, I mean, do you think if there was a creator that we like to think of as a creator, that he really wants people to never die? I mean, that's the future. The future is that ourselves will never die.
Someone said you could download, upload everything. There's a show called Upload about it. Upload you into a computer mainframe where you could live in a nirvana.
Where you would think that you're actually doing and feeling and experiencing and making love to a girl and going for walks in the forest. I mean,
and you'd never die.
And you would always think that you're alive. And well, maybe that's what heaven is. If there's
a simulation.
I mean, I don't. But again, I mean, I would do. I guess I would do it. Wouldn't you do it? I mean, who would go? Only if someone did it and then came back and said, "Yeah, it's great. You got to do it. You got to do this." If I had a friend say, "Oh yeah, you really got to do this, man. This is really cool," and then
what you got to realize, you're trusting the people outside to never screw around with you.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, would you take the chance if you had a guy coming back saying, "Yeah, it's fine,"
because you can't kill yourself. You can't get out of it. They can put you in hell.
I know. Well, see that. God, and this coming. I mean, look at the progress. Even the inventors say they don't know where it's going, and they're afraid of the future for it.
They don't know how it works either, the quantum computers.
What we need is a safe house. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
To hide in.
Well, Atlanta Safe House will build you a family storm shelter. I'm telling you, nooks and crannies and everything. Our 4 o'clock hour, thank goodness, brought to you by Atlanta Safe House. Silly rabbit, get one for yourself. Keep your stuff safe. Unlike the Kimmer when I went to Florida like an idiot. Anyway, they have a showroom in Ackworth, and they'd love to have you come up and say hi on Industrial Boulevard up there. All right, 410. I'm running late, Founder. I'm so sorry. Why now? A couple things. Pete just sent, what was that thing now? The 2 things. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to slow down. A lot of things are happening that Donald Trump is doing in his first couple of days of office. For example, he's now outed the Bureau of Prisons director girl. I got rid of her because she's a freaking disaster and didn't do squat crap for anything else. He also has now, Pete just sent this story a minute ago. He, actually, a couple things. Let's see. Here it is right here. Donald Trump signed the executive order allowing the deportation of foreign students who express support for terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah.
Yep.
So if you are a foreign student and you are here in America and you did what they did at Columbia, they started out at the Student Quad Mall outside and then actually went into class to disrupt what was going on there.
By the way, the pamphlets they were handing out showed what looked like from the 1930s, the German boot coming down on Jewish things.
So there you are. I mean, and again, for someone like Ocasio Bangbango Stupidio, the Jew hater, to complain about a Nazi salute, I mean, again, to take the distraction away from what was actually going on in the country. And by the way, Kash Patel said, people who support the supporters of these terrorists are the enemies of our children. They are the enemies of our civilization. They are the enemies of our freedom. Deport them all. This is going to be a huge blow to the left ecosystem, another wrote, which has been playing around with exploiting the freedom of speech clause forever. The schools are going to scream because of the lost tuition. Another point. I mean, and again, I think it was I just read, it was either Harvard or MIT that just now caved in and settled the lawsuit by Jewish students, giving them priority for, new tactics on campus to protect their safety and so forth. Coalitions to make sure that their rights are protected. I mean, so they were forced by lawsuit into doing something. I don't know why Columbia, I recall it wasn't long ago, Columbia came out with some kind of a plan saying, oh yeah, we're going to take care of this in the future. Well, sure didn't sound like they did much. Anyway, I don't know, these freaking people. Okay, now, the DEI programs are going. Al Sharpton's going nuts because he says the eliminating DEI programs are trying to send black people back to the back of the bus. He said we're going to target companies who are getting rid of DEI programs. We're going to boycott them. Oh, Al Sharpton leading a boycott for companies to get rid of DEI. Hey, Al, we won the election because people don't want DEI anymore. How about that? Oh, how about this? Oh, these remote workers are going nuts. Flounder, cut number 5 here, my friend. Donald Trump is now the Nazi dictator again and telling people who get a federal paycheck, you got to come back to work. Luckily, they're all handling the tradition with dignity and grace. Or, like this lady, Flounder, typical Democrats, leftist lazy idiots screaming.
Yeah, so I'm hearing that they're going to make us start coming to work. Like, going into work. Like, leaving home and going in. Like, I'm going to have to get dressed and drive there.
Ma'am.
I'm going to have to deal with traffic. I mean, the stress that this is going to cause me.
It's going to have to...
I'm not going to be able to watch The View when it comes on. I'm going to have to wait till I get home after work and watch it. And lunch. Do I have to pack a lunch now? I mean, come on. I may just quit. I think that's going to be the only option, is just to quit.
There you go. Yeah. So again, probably the best thing.
That there's real people out there thinking that.
Exactly. Oh, my God, I got to start getting dressed and going to work, fighting traffic, bringing a lunch. Where are you going to park? I mean, sure.
Entitled federal lazy employees.
And again, if I'm not mistaken, correct me on this, I believe something like, it couldn't have been 90% of the office building space is empty. It's an outrageous amount of space is not used.
As I say this in my Snoopy pajamas.
Yeah. Perhaps a bad example. Anyway, 414. I got more blood pressure update too. Pete and Flounder. 414. Look out.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Well, so far so good, and Trump has done many things to help to correct the disastrous efforts of Joe Biden. Chief among them is shutting down the border. I wonder how many illegals are getting across that border every day now. But there's one thing that makes me very unhappy. I've tried to understand it, and I think I've come to some satisfaction on that. Pardoning and releasing those people who stormed the Capitol on January the 6th, 4 years ago, including people who physically attacked and harmed our police. I would have liked to have seen them serve out their full sentences. There was no excuse for that. If some of them could have actually got their hands on Vice President Pence, Lord knows what would have happened. So why did Trump issue them pretty much a blanket pardon? And the only reason I can come up with is that he feels responsible. He feels they might have been there at his request because he asked them to do that. And that he owes them this, to issue the pardon and set them free. I disagree, but it's done and onward with Drill Baby Drill, refilling our oil reserves, getting rid of DEI. Oh, how I relished the news yesterday that the head of the Coast Guard had been fired. Out. she was a big pusher of the idea of DEI. And now, when it comes to federal government jobs, and more, I hope, people actually realize that it is going to take merit to get good jobs instead of a specific skin color or sexual orientation. Merit, that idea, is really frightening people. So, let's sit back and enjoy this adventure. Criticize when necessary, celebrate when appropriate. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey, it's Tug. When it comes to your home, Southern Exteriors has you covered. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside, they do it all. For over 20 years, they've been the go-to for homeowners across the South. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job. Don't wait. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co today. Southern Exteriors, where the outside matters most.
I hold everything. 417. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230. Hump Day. Lots of stuff going on. We'll talk about word salad princess again here, too. And also, turning in illegals. When you hear this chick, I found out there's a reward, apparently. It's all coming up. First of all, this is here we go with another winter storm thing. Those people down south trapped in their cars and stuff. This is slip and slide season still, and that's why you need to put David Vansant's number in your phone, because if something happens and someone slides into you, or especially if you didn't even do anything, boom, before you, make sure you take care of yourself, obviously, but before you sign it, and then get a hold of David Vansant. Here's why. Insurance companies, God bless them, but the fact is they don't want to pay any more than they think they have to, and that's why they have these tables. For example, I believe it's a true story. A guy's talking to his insurance company, and they say, you got a broken fender, that's going to be $800. The guy says, no, the guy said it was like $1,500, and the guy said, no, it's $800. The insurance says, no, it's $800, and so the customer says, well, you know what, I'm calling David Vansant. So the insurance company says, okay, $2,000, we'll give it to it. $3,000, please don't call David Vansant. That's a true story, I think. Possibly. Because the guy knows what he's doing. You know why? Because he used to work there. For crying out, give me a break. He used to work for the insurance companies. And, again, they have charts and graphs and tables and things. And David knows all that stuff. And he says, no. If you're paying in premium for a premium car thing, then you'll be getting premium service. I mean, you can make sure you're covered and you get what you paid for. Because if you don't get paid for the settlement, he doesn't get paid either. He's in this for you. Trust me, put this number in your phone, 855-GA-INJURY. 855-GA-INJURY, because he knows all this stuff and he can take care of you in getting your settlement. Vansant Law on the web, vansantlaw.com.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turfco to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turfco was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turfco to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's Rhino for True Prep. True Prep on Cobb Parkway is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. They are locally owned and operated. You can visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
By the way, I have another doggy story. I'm going to try to get through it. I'm going to try to prove to myself that we can enjoy a good news story without me being a crybaby. And I'm doing it because for various reasons, I like having happy news stories that make me feel better, and I hope I can share those with you too. So that'll be coming up shortly. But first, David Bowie. 1972, he came out as bisexual. Oh, my God. Ooh, it'll funk it. Yeah, David was talking to the British Music Weekly Melody Maker in 1972 on this day, and David said, the biggest mistake I ever made was saying that I was bisexual. Christ, I was so young then, I was experimenting. It was pure revisionism for a more conservative age. Wow, okay, all right, whatever. I don't, there's not, I don't, it's just whatever. Yeah.
He later said that was, that was the 70s, and, he was young.
Anybody could have been in there,
He was married to a mom for decades.
For a long time. So, you're with all group of people, there's no clothes, you're rolling around, anybody could have been in there. Who can tell?
Look up, you don't know whose foot that is.
Yeah, you eat one foot, you're a cannibal. I mean, my God, you can't label a guy forever.
Especially in the hot tub.
Yeah. Check when she's wearing toenail polish. One way, I don't know. I don't know if it's that the thing.
If you know, you know.
Dear God. Our list of birthdays includes Joseph Wambaugh, 88 years old.
Wow.
This guy wrote The Onion Field, and when I read that, that changed. That really led to a whole bunch of things back in the 70s in particular. Joseph Wambaugh, former cop, 88 years old today. The Onion Field, Choir Boys, New Centurions, the TV series Police Story. 88 years old, Joseph Wambaugh, and what a career. I remember The Onion Field, and I thought, wow. Anyway, speaking of police reaction to Donald Trump, and on this day in history, 1968, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Dan Rowan, Dick Martin premiered on NBC in 68. Laugh-In launched the careers of Ruth Buzzy, Artie Johnson, Judy Carn. Remember Judy Carn? That cute little reddish
Burt Reynolds' first wife.
Yeah. Goldie Hawn, Steve Martin, Rob Reiner, Henry Gibson, Super Dave Osborne, Gary Owens, he was the announcer, I'll think of it, Lily Tomlin and Joanne Worley. Gary Olson used to had a word he made up, and he would use it frequently in his broadcasting, and he would say something like, yes, it was true. The man was totally insegrevious when he went over to the other side of the sun. Insegrevious is not a word, but I remember Gary Owens used to use the word insegrevious. For God's sake, I don't know what I'll be playing. Anyway, 423. Okay, here we go. Speaking of words, how about Princess Word Salad? Mocked online again for a community visit during her fire department trip in Los Angeles. Speaking to the media in Altadena, whatever it calls, Vice President side, cut number 3 here, Flounder. Vice President side piece with her word salad action, trying to praise people and then I don't know. Here, we'll see what you think.
Strangers who, in the face of that stranger, they see a neighbor. These are folks who understand the strength and the value of community, which is everyone coming together with a shared sense of purpose and identity as a community of people. And I wanted to come by, most importantly, to thank them, those who have volunteered and have brought people together and have sacrificed so much, and our firefighters. And I mentioned to these firefighters the fact that California firefighters, time and time again, prove themselves to be the best.
She said, a group understanding the children of a community, the children of the community. Others, she said, the community banks are in the community. Community of people. Write that down, please. And by the way, every time she shows up, it's, of course, a nightmare for anybody who's around her. And, in fact, when she went back to her old neighborhood, Brentwood, in northern Los Angeles, the unemployed former politician brought jeers from some neighbors, a lot more traffic. So they said they block everything. I hate it when she comes back. They said also Karen Bass, the girl mayor, and Governor freaking Newsom are responsible for the worst disaster in L.A. history. The former vice president wasted no time endearing herself to the hometown. She said, we wanted to come out and let people know that we see them and that they are cared for, she told reporters. Then she was nowhere to be seen, but 4 black SUVs guarded her $5 million home while Secret Service patrolled around in their sunglasses. And people are saying, I'm embarrassed she lives here. I'm embarrassed that she represented the United States. They ruined our state. Carmela would do exactly the same thing if she runs for governor. I wish she'd find another state to destroy. I mean, please, you don't need any more evidence. 425.
Anyone who thinks California is going Republican is dreaming.
No, I understand there. I mean, you would think it'd be a mass change. Well, we'll see. I guess we'll have to see, but I don't know. I mean, it's just too big. I talk about the swamp. It's just too big.
They will never admit they were wrong. Yeah. Never.
And by the way, there's something new happening with the illegals. Flounder, cut number 1 here. This is incredible. Apparently, it seems that ICE, at least it's going on social media, it seems that ICE, ICE, is offering a reward of $750 for every illegal immigrant that civilians turn into authorities. Well, here's a lady here in Atlanta making social media rounds, already figuring out how much is out there. Just take a look around.
ICE, they over there on Chambly and Buford. They always be at the farmers market over there on the south side at the big farmers market. But Chambly, that's little Mexico, Chambly, Buford side, all that right there. Oh, they always be at the gas stations too. All the gas stations. QT, they be at the QT when you get off on is that Turner Hill, the one that's over there by the Six Flags? What exit is that? Them all the Mexicans be outside.
That's it. Go over there.
Riverside Drive, like right before you get to Six Flags, you get off on that exit and that QT, when you turn right and the QT on your left hand side, oh, they over there too, all the time. And then on the east side, you get off on South Harrison, North Harrison, and you go over there to the gas station, like almost to the highway. Oh, they at that gas station right there too. Always on the corner. Always on the corner. Always on the corner.
The Shell station over there. So
the hood has been organized.
Yeah, the hood's getting ready to collect some of that jing, baby. Green is flowing around out there. Just keeping it crunk. 427. Oh, by the way, this is hysterical. I don't know anything about this stuff, but it sure is making rounds for people who do know. Anybody younger than me by about 50 years. China is now freaking out over TikTok and its actual TikTok savior, Red Note, which is owned by the Chinese, but they're now afraid that more American stuff is going to ruin the Chinese culture. Chinese-owned video sharing app Red Note is considering quarantining American users because they're a poor influence over Chinese youths. Yep. Millions of Americans downloaded the alternative Chinese video platform, sending it to #1 on the App Store. 3 million Americans joined Red Note in one day. They're TikTok refugees. It caused a culture clash. Americans descending on Chinese influence comments sections with sexualized messages such as, "How do you say mommy in Chinese?" like in a horny way, one American asked on the Chinese thing. Another one, a Chinese female fitness influencer's video. A Chinese woman received a comment, "I'll teach you English, fine, little so-and-so." Chinese users have been drooling over the provocative videos of American chicks. One commenter said, "Man, after seeing foreign girls, I'm no longer interested in domestic ones." American chicks on Red Note are triggering a gender war in China. Americans are helping Chinese teens cheat on their English homework by commenting the answers in their posts. By the way, this cross-cultural stuff doesn't happen on TikTok because the company that owns it in China is linked to the Communist Party, so an entirely separate app. Red Note is called Xinghuang Chu in Chinese, which literally translates as Little Red Book, which is Chairman Mao's thing. They have to follow, a Little Red Book, Chairman Mao. I mean, how
many Americans are just willing to just hand over everything to the Chinese Communist Party?
Right. Yeah. So Red Note now is urging recruiting English content moderators so they can figure out what's going on because they don't know much about the English, trying to trick them into accepting American stuff to ruin their children. American political issues trickling into the Chinese social consciousness. Oh, how about this? This is amazing. Luigi Mangione is a viral topic on that app in China. He's the guy who murdered the United Healthcare CEO, and he's now a huge meme thing for the Chinese. They have Red Note users dressing up in his clothing, the maroon sweater and slacks. LGBT's American user, LGBTQ chick, posted a video about queer issues on the platform, and Chinese girls are saying, "Oh, don't promote LGBT, man," and Americans are saying, "Hey, don't think that they don't like it, they'll ban us. Don't put that stuff on." I mean, the whole world is going nuts over these freaking apps, Red Note, and I mean, this is unbelievable. And again, guys like me, I don't have any idea what it is, what it means. Is this a thing? Now, Pete and Father, is this a thing? Is this I don't know.
The Chinese do not want American pop culture, and I totally agree with them.
Absolutely, nor should we want their culture. I mean,
we don't want their fentanyl, and they don't want our pop culture.
It's just unbelievable. I mean, honestly.
But they've got American youth trained now to just willy-nilly, for entertainment purposes, give all their information to the Chinese Communist military.
Right, because we're all in this together. I'm telling you, this freaking cell phone is getting bigger and bigger, and immediate contact connections, and I can't
just the younger generation wants clicks and influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've trained
and like
and
Pete said, they'll sell their soul for it.
Yeah, and making livings on being on social media. And, I mean, it's just...
Why can't we?
Wow. And AI?
Well, Kimmer, have you ever thought about, signing on to TikTok? I bet your horse videos would be really popular. Not being funny, but I bet that's something that,
if I could make some money off it, I'd
possibly
try to do
could.
It. Well, I don't even know how to start. Anyway.
But again, to sign up, they have
you're
to
my agent.
I'm not putting Tictok on my phone, and I know you're not.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, maybe that'll give me a nest egg again. Yeah. Dark web, please. 432, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out.
A new year, a new president, and a new approach for America. XTRA 106.3 will be with you every step of the way in 2025 with the local and national voices you trust the most. Atlanta radio legends who've been with you for a generation and the worldwide resources of Fox News bringing you the latest. We are proud to start another year as the conservative voice of Atlanta. XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA 106.3 app.
I'm going back to the dentist. I'm already smiling. Yes, it's true. Kimmer, Pete Flounder here. The Kimmer here. Yes, it's true. I'm going back to Dr. Dina Giesler, my dentist. I went to the first time 30 years ago and have my appointment next week. And, of course, I'm working to make sure around my schedule, taking care of business. And I've got, when I was there a couple of weeks ago, I had a little thing. I took a little her over there on the side over the bottom side over that thing. So now we're going to fix it and do those stuff needs to be done. And that's the point. And the reason I'm smiling, and I like to joke about it, but I'm quite serious about it because, your teeth, and she made it very clear to me, and has been for a long time, and of course I didn't pay any attention until I was stupid about it. If you don't take care of your gums hold your teeth. And America, people in the world are living way longer than our teeth used to last because of our gums. So you got to take care of that stuff, flossing, all that kind of junk. But she does veneer things and cosmetic stuff and cleaning and bridges and crowns and all this stuff. I'm getting like a partial thing with a whole thing over at the thing. I didn't know what it is. But again, the point of the matter is that she does all that great stuff. She was a master dentist. 1% say that when she was an officer in the Navy. And she has, and the office, there's a guy, Dr. Guy there, but it's all women. And they're just these true Kimmer babes. They love what they do. They're happy. They're nurturing. I can't say enough about them. And again, I make the big joke, and it's not the joke at all. It's really true. She has a little doggy we'll put in your lap while you're getting your stuff done. And honestly, it makes you feel better. And I took video the last time I was there, and I'm taking video again when I go next week for that little doggy in your lap. I mean, and by the way, don't forget, veterans get 10% right off the top. Here's the number. Just tell them when you call, and call this number, 404-262-7733. Your new smile is waiting for you, and I say get the doggy. AtlantaSmiles.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
You're setting a lot of goals for 2025. Big plans, new adventures, and Subaru of Gwynette has the vehicles to get you there. The 2025 Subaru Forester is the same reliable SUV that earned the trust of drivers for decades, but with more adventurous style and more advanced safety technology. And you'll love exploring in the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek. It gives you up to 34 miles per gallon and the power of a 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, adding plenty of go to your adventures. The 2025 Subaru Outback shares your adventurous spirit. With up to 32 miles per gallon and 9.5 inches of ground clearance, you can explore your world with confidence. And the 2025 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. A turbocharged 260 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine makes driving a thrill. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it at Subaru Gwynette, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, or shop online at SubaruofGwynette.com.
Hey, it's Tug. When it comes to your home, Southern Exteriors has you covered. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside, they do it all. For over 20 years, they've been the go-to for homeowners across the South. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job. Don't wait. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co today. Southern Exteriors, where the outside matters most.
Why does it matter that DGeller and Son is Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler? Because we get first dibs. When diamonds come to Atlanta, they come to DGeller and Son first. A bunch of diamonds that look the same on paper, but there's about 1 in every 10 that you can see from across the room, and a lot in every 10 that are what my dad calls duds. So we keep the good one, we pack the rest back up, and they go somewhere else. That somewhere else is usually a big box store that's not quite as picky. That means the same color, same clarity, and same price gets you more brilliance, more sparkle, more bang for your diamond buck at DGeller and Son. That's what we call the DGeller difference. So why are we so picky? We live, work, and play right here in Atlanta. So when it comes to getting you the best diamond, we have to get it right. That's why Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler became Atlanta's favorite diamond retailer. Come see the DGeller and Son difference for yourself and find out why we've been Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939. In Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, online at
Another musical guy, Steve Perry, 76 years old today, the original Journey singer, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. And when my kids were visiting me once, in fact, in San Francisco, I knew where Steve Perry lived, and I drove them by his house, pulled over, and got some stones out of his driveway as souvenirs for my daughters.
Let's see. January 22nd, Steve Perry.
Well, all right,
story.
it was a lie. I haven't said that story in 9 years, I'll bet you.
We're going to find out after this year how many times it comes up. Because I'm writing them all down, baby.
Oh, my God. Well, did you write down the beer can I threw against the girl's car door to get her to make out with me? From yesterday?
Let's see. When was that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? All right, I'll put that in here.
You got to do the beer can to drive.
I have the Baptist Church neighbor story on there.
Well, all right, that's totally, absolutely. Well, that was an important day in my life, 1970. That was 53 years ago.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, sorry. Okay, and speaking of history, and I'm doing this one for a reason, too. 4:40 is our time. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. By the way, I hope you people, if you're south of I-20 and you're snowed or iced in or something, we'd love to hear from you. What's it like? What's going on? I mean, is it better? I mean, do you need help? I mean, anyway, we'd love to hear from you if you feel like it. On this day in history, 1929, Pete the Pup, the American dog actor, the second dog to portray Pete the Pup, was the offspring of Pal the Wonder Dog in the 30s, the first to portray Pete, the Wonder Dog, in the old-fashioned TV series of, he had complete with makeup. He had the circle over one eye. Pal the Wonder Dog had a circle over the other eye, but they completed it with makeup. This was from the Little Rascals days. Well, ironically, also, this was the day that they found out that Carl Switzer, who played Alfalfa in The Little Rascals, was shot to death after allegedly attacking a guy with a knife during an argument over $50 in 1959. Carl Alfalfa, they called him, had been training a hunting dog for Moses Samuel Stilts. When the dog escaped, Switzer paid a reward for his recovery and believed that Stilts should reimburse him. When he confronted Stilts about the reward money, they had a fight and Stilts shot and killed him. The shooting was judged to be self-defense at the time. In 2021, Tom Corrigan, as a kid, was present on the night of the murder, said it was a murder, claiming the Switzer threatened to beat him up and Stilts pointed a gun at him. A shot was fired into the ceiling. The Corrigan struck in the leg by a fragment. The guy said, well, we shot Tommy, enough of this, and was starting to leave when Stilts shot him. He was the son of the Western movie star Crash Corrigan and the stepson of Moses. Anyway, what a story, the Alfalfa. In fact, I was going to ask Flounder to get one of the examples of Alfalfa singing. If you have no idea what Pete's laughing. The Little Rascals was, and who's the little chubby kid who went on to become...
Spanky.
Spanky, right, Spanky McFarlane. And Alfalfa would start singing, and then he'd go into the high falsetto. He just couldn't help it. It's hysterical. He had a little hair sticking up at the top of his head. It was hysterical.
One of the best Tom Snyder shows ever. He had Stymie and Spanky and one of the girls on when they were like older in their 50s or something. It was a great show.
I tried to never miss Tom Snyder. When I was working TV anchorman, I'd get home like 11 or 11:30 or something at night.
Show.
And I would relax with iced tea or something at the time. My wife was already sleeping and the baby and stuff, and I'd watch Tom Snyder. And
one of the best, if not the best,
2 and 2,
maybe the best interview of John Lennon I ever heard.
He was a guffawing goofball, but he knew what he was doing, and he was
Dan Aykroyd, made fun on Saturday Night Live. He was perfect. Aykroyd was perfect.
Oh my! 443 Caribbean Flounder. All right, now speaking of the Little Rascal singing the dog. Okay, I'm going to do this. I swear to God, I'm going to do this, and I do this once in a while. When a story pops up like this, I see it, and I think people should hear something about this because it just makes me feel better, and hope it makes you feel better too. And I hope it has a happy ending. I think it will. Florida, Miami-Dade, Interstate 10. A pair of stray dogs helped each other stay alive on the streets, living as strays, after one was hit by a car. They're now at a Florida rescue shelter, waiting for a forever home. Zorro is a big gray and white mutt. He was mangled as somebody hit him on the road, kept driving. Zorro had 3 broken legs, a broken elbow on the other one, a dislocated hip, a deranged right knee, virtually incapable of moving. The American bully and staffy mix named Grover stayed by Zorro's side and used his body to shield his injured brother. There was a picture of them together on I-95. One hurt, the other wouldn't leave his side. A police officer said it had a huge open space. A dog could have gone anywhere and he wasn't going to leave. Just brought tears to my eyes. The animal welfare people found out. I went to the shelter without a plan. I had to take this dog out, one person said. By the time he went back to save the 2 dogs, one driver had picked up Grover, and he was gone. Another guy said he picked up the other dog, and I said, we're going to try to reunite these 2 dogs somehow. In the meantime, a veterinarian took the dog that was so badly hurt and couldn't even move, and he said all this dog would do is lay on the floor and wag his tail. I said, whoa, we're not putting this dog to sleep. I don't care what happens. He's sitting there in that kind of shape, wagging his tail, so happy to be alive. We've got to help this dog. 6 surgeries later, this guy named Fernandez tracked down Grover in another county about 40 miles away. They were reunited 5 days after the accident. The Zorro, now empowered by an indomitable spirit, used his one good leg to crawl over to Grover. Zorro can now walk. They've been boarded there for a year, and the vet clinic says we can't keep the dogs here for a whole year. It's no place for dogs. Rescue workers say they're afraid they're going to have to separate them to get them homes. The time has come. We have to do something different for these boys. What we're doing now isn't working. They've been forgotten. We failed them. Zorro's a gentle giant, comfortably interacts with others, loves kittens. Grover's kind of excitable, would love a yard to roam around in, but he's all smiles and they won't leave each other's side. Broward County, Florida, the iPaw Rescue, and they have a website. Please.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Very nice.
446 can repeat and flounder. And so there. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, it's a 4:45. Holy cow. Holy crap at sports. Is anything going on in sports? I really haven't kept track of much.
Andrew Jones. We'll talk about Andrew.
Oh, I know what's going on. And a guy from the Cubs and some happiness and stuff. And anyway, we'll talk about that. Pete Davis coming. Well, Billy. The guy named Billy was a...
He was a Brave more than he's a Cub.
Okay, well, a Billy guy. We'll talk about it. Sorry, I screwed up. I'm very high right now. Just due to my blood pressure. No, I'm fine. Actually, my blood pressure is now, it's like 110 over 69, which is, I haven't changed a bit.
That's all right.
I can't believe it. Yes, that's fine. All right, look out. It's 4:47. Here we go. Look out. One of my favorite Babylon Bee headlines just now said, "Democracy falls as the man who received the most votes becomes president," ladies and gentlemen.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
One of the hardest things to do is to walk away from a paycheck. As retirement planners, Masterplan knows how hard it can be to pull the trigger on your own retirement. Don't go it alone. Masterplan is a holistic retirement planning firm that works with you to create a retirement plan to help maximize your golden years. Through income planning and money management, legacy planning, and tax planning, we create a plan specifically designed for your life. Enter retirement with confidence. Contact Masterplan to analyze your retirement outlook and create a plan that's right for you. All initial consultations are complimentary, so contact us today and begin your pursuit towards peace of mind. Visit masterplanretire.com. Masterplan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Masterplan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Masterplan Retirement Consulting. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Have you considered securing your family's future? Protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease. Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademark Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com.
Hey, it's Mike with Atlanta Painting Company. We invite you to transform your home. Our expert team brings color to life with top quality paints and flawless finishes, and leading the industry with our color consultants. Whether it's a fresh coat of paint for one room or an entire exterior makeover, the Atlanta Painting Company has you covered. So, trust the local pros for reliable, professional service when you need to revive your home or business. Find us at AtlantaPaintingCompany.com or call us at 1-800-PAINTING. That's AtlantaPaintingCompany.com. The Atlanta Painting Company, the painters you can trust.
Go beyond just a baseball game with your Atlanta Braves and check out Truist Park's Ballpark Tour. See the ballpark like never before and explore the franchise's rich history with artifacts, exhibits, and more, led by tour guides who will take you to places behind the scenes that most fans have never even seen before, including the press box, premium club spaces, and of course, step onto the field where your favorite Braves players battle it out during the season. And each tour comes with a complimentary player chain necklace. Visit Braves.com/tours to purchase your tickets today.
Fly ball to deep right by Marcel. Hello, Chop House.
And did you know Truist Park can host your next event? As a year-round facility, we host private events ranging from corporate meetings, trade shows, team building events, holiday parties, rehearsal dinners, you name it, Truist Park can host it. Visit Braves.com/events to get started on creating an experience like never before with one of Truist Park's unique venues. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
This is Steve and his good friend named Enos. They're inseparable, but Enos has a real problem. He's not the Enos he used to be. For years, he was on top of his game, a power hitter. Enos used to stand out in the crowd.
Hey, there's Enos.
But one day things changed. As Enos got older, he couldn't perform like he used to.
Enos.
He had trouble getting up for work.
Enos.
He'd fall asleep on the job.
Enos?
Enos knew something was wrong, so he reached out to Steve for help. Steve did some research and suspected Enos was struggling with ED. Then he heard a commercial on the radio for Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They could fix Enos. So Steve gave Enos a lift to Dr. Deal's, and within hours, he was back in the game, swinging like a champ with an action plan and a new attitude.
Oh, Enos.
So the moral of the story is, if your friend Enos is struggling with ED, remember Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Learn more at tbtofga.com.
Now, why are you calling Flounder names?
This was my ex's and I's song.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice?
I'm so sorry. Well, put that on your calendar. On your bingo card. You dirty, rotten. My God. Oh, mercy. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 452, and the Beach Boys, baby. 1966, the Gold Star Studios went in to record Wouldn't It Be Nice, the opening track for the album Pet Sounds. The musicians present on that day were the Wrecking Crew, including Hal Blaine on drums and Carol Kay on electric bass. And if I had to pick one album to take on a desert island, I might be Pet Sounds. I might be something like that. I don't know. Hard to tell. I'd hate to have to pick it. But
by the way, speaking of anniversaries, today is 20 years President Trump and Melania.
President Trump. In fact, I was going to do my thing. I'm glad you mentioned it. 20 years ago today, 20th anniversary, and happily married. In fact, they have the one child with them. But boy, talk about their 18-year-old, 6'9" son,
Bella Lugosi.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And by the way, also a lot of comments on her hat all over social media too. That she looked like a gangster from the Roaring '20s.
Do you see the Babylon Bee?
Yeah, tell them.
They have her with a Tommy gun chasing Democrats out of town.
In fact, somewhere I have a cover. We did an album once of me with holding my Tommy gun, my Thompson submachine gun, and one of those Al Capone hats, just like that. If I wish I could have found it, I would have put up there everything. But anyway, yeah, what a stunning chick. Anyway, on this day, it's a big history day to 454 already. Holy cow! The U.S. Supreme Court this day, 1973, ruled a state may not prevent a woman from having an abortion during the first 6 months of pregnancy. Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment provides a right to privacy, protect a woman's pregnancy right to choose whether or not to have an abortion, tied state regulation to abortion to 3 trimesters of pregnancy. First trimester, governments can't do anything, cannot prohibit. During the second trimester, governments could require reasonable health regulations. During the third trimester, abortions could be prohibited entirely if the laws are followed. So anyway, it was kind of a complicated thing. The Supreme Court overruled Roe in Dobbs versus Jackson in 2022, 3 years ago, that it had the right to abortion was not deeply rooted in this nation's history or tradition, and then people started going nuts. Now, along with that, on the anniversary of 1993, 20th anniversary of the Roe versus Wade, President Clinton lifted a series of abortion restrictions funding non-governmental organizations that was imposed by his Republican predecessors. That was 1993. 8 years later, President Bush II reinstated the policies that Clinton lifted. Obama lifted them again in 2009, and then Trump reinstated them in 2017, and Biden repealed them again in 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, give me anyway. Hey, Dolly, I love that girl. She's Erin. She's so sweet. I love talking to her every day. I come in every day. Oh, by the way, I should say this too, in case it comes up with human resources. Bella, I came in several ways. So I get my mail, and then I walk into between the cubby hole here's thing. area. And I always try to pass by Bella and Amanda, who are right next to each other in the thing. And so I came up, and Bella and I said, oh my God, Bella, she had her princess haircut again, her hairstyle again. She had, when she puts that little braid on the top and with that hairstyle, it's the girls who she looks like a princess from, Game of Thrones or something. I mean, it's that beautiful kind of braided over the top of their hair. And I said, Bella, you got your princess hairstyle on today. I'm sorry. But first,
thank you.
Nuckies Hokies from Flounders.
My friend said, I bet they hate seeing him coming at them.
I said the same thing, and Amanda said, no, we love it when you come by. It's a highlight of our day. So there, because I actually said that.
I know her.
Anyway, I told Bella, I said, you're so beautiful. You look like a princess. I love when you do that with your hair. And I said, I know, and she was all giggly and stuff, but she was also shy. And, and I said, no, I know that doesn't embarrass you. You look so pretty. And I want to tell you, you look beautiful. And, I love the hairstyle. And I just thought you looked nice. And then Amanda had her beautiful long braid down. And I went over and talked about her too. And I said, ladies, I know you probably hate me coming by this. And Amanda, I swear to God, said, no, it's the highlight of our day. Because we have a little holly little jiggle thing and laughing and stuff. And I tell them how nice and sweet they are. And I go about my business and don't see them again until the next day. But first, Flounders Funnies, 457, 100 times. I get it. My God, man.
In the 90s, people had maximum one problem, 2 worries. Okay, and a lot of those worries were things like, I'm not good enough at squash. That's the kind of thing we used to be concerned about. Yes, we did have one big worry. Yes, of course, the millennium bug. Yes, we were worried about that. They said to us, the world is ending. That's what they said to us. They said, we forgot to tell computers all of the dates. They said to us, we've told them up to New Year's Eve, 1999, but no further. But what they said was, on the stroke of midnight, they're all going to stop working. They said aeroplanes will fall from the sky. They said incubators will stop working. We were like, that sounds terrible. What can we do? They said nothing. And then we were like, all right, stick Robbie Williams on. Let's make the best of it. Anyway, January 1st, year 2000, we all woke up and we weren't even dead. Not a single aeroplane fell on a single baby. So if you're wondering why people my age and older aren't doing enough about climate change, it's because you got us last time.
Who's that, Flounder?
Her name is Sarah Pascoe.
Sarah Pascoe. And by the way, you have Holy Crap at Sports with Pete coming up. Also, Pete's Tweets, and we have a game. Oh, my God. We're going to have a jam-packed 5 o'clock hour. And also, I got the biggest kick out of Babylon Bee today. You may have heard about a woman who just passed away. Here's how the Babylon Bee described this story. Clump of cells dies at 67. A clump of cells became no longer viable earlier this week at the age of 67. The clump, which had been birthed by Democrat uterus owner and former Texas Governor Ann Richards, was in its 205th trimester. It presided over 333,000 terminations of unwanted clumps of cells, like itself during a 12-year stint as president of a philanthropic organization, 3% dedicated to ripping apart clumps of cells and selling the remains. Sources say the non-viable, formerly 67-year-old clump had a much smaller clump of cells which got too big in the brain. The ex-clump of cells became no longer viable, surrounded by clumps genetically related to it, and a dog named Ollie. Anyway, this, of course, is Planned Parenthood. They're taking a rip at her when one of their directors just passed away. Clump of cells dead at 67. Coming up on 5 o'clock. Holy crap, we've done it now. Timber Pete Flounder, look out. Stand by. There's so much more.
and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
President Trump makes another move on immigration. Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's ordering federal agencies to immediately remove migrants who cross the southern border illegally. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
An executive order restricts asylum claims and directs the Departments of Homeland Security, Justice, and State to take all necessary action to immediately repel, repatriate, and remove illegal immigrants President Trump says are involved in an invasion. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president will use every lever of executive power to secure the border.
This is the number one promise that he made to the American people on the campaign trail. And with this action today and the many actions that he took on day one in the Oval Office, he is delivering on that promise.
And Democratic Congressman Jerry Nadler calls it a return to harsh and inhumane immigration policies. The Lake and Riley Act is heading to President Trump's desk, winning final approval with bipartisan support, though some Democrats argue it could lead to violations of due process rights. It requires detention of illegal immigrants arrested for other offenses, including theft. A deadly school shooting under investigation in Tennessee.
Police in Nashville say a 17-year-old male student armed with a pistol opened fire around 11 a.m. local time inside a busy cafeteria at Antioch High School.
The individual wounded 2 other students, one of them fatally, before shooting and killing himself. There is no danger at the school.
Nashville Police spokesman Don Aaron were also told that school resource officers were inside the building at the time of the shooting, though not near the cafeteria. Too early for a motive.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Police say the student killed was a 16-year-old girl confronted by the shooter. New evacuations from a new wildfire in the mountains north of L.A., only 40 miles from the deadly Eaton and Palisades fires. America is listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of flank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. First squad to the rear. Second squad to the rear. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the giver, silly rabbit, with Pete Davis and Flounder and you. And here's the number, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230 on 106.3 Hump Day. We got all the new. We're going to hear more from that psycho, freaking, goofball-looking, crazy-eyed so-called bishop about Donald Trump demanding an apology. Also, the letter that was left to him. We'll talk about the police union. Boy, this is an issue, and we're going to have to come to grips with it at one time, sometime soon, I guess, after the January 6th business. I say wait till the investigation's done, and we need to get to the bottom of it. All coming up. Anyway, Pete Davis in the mountains of Macon. We are, weather-wise, it's sunny. It's cold, but it's sunny and nice, and about 5 miles away, and you go down toward, the middle of the state and south, and it's not only snowing in Louisiana, it's snowing. I mean, people are trapped. Hard to get to lots of accident stuff. It's
100-year snow, basically, what's going on down there. Yeah. It's amazing.
And in fact, and by the way, I just saw a headline. Apparently, Los Angeles has another fire coming.
Well, yesterday, and Flounder sent it to me. Mission Valley is a big valley that goes down kind of the heart of San Diego. It's where the malls are. It's where Jack Murphy Stadium was for the longest time. San Diego State Stadium is there now.
Yeah.
And my dad and I, back in the 80s, went to Padres Braves games and sat there in the stands and watched an entire side of a hill burned for the entire game. And they had 3 fires in there, which threatened the mall, threatened the stadiums, and they think maybe somebody's setting these suckers.
Damn. Oh, I was taking my blood pressure, and it says air, E-R-R. Oh, come on.
You're dead.
I was taking it to see. Oh, that's a bunch of crap. Oh, it's going. I'm starting it again. Let's see. I was trying to take my blood pressure while I was doing the herping and hoeing just for fun. And again, the reason I started it, I mentioned the other day that I sometimes I get. No, it's not going to do it.
If you move around too much, it doesn't like that at all.
All right. Well, it knocked off. Well, that's right. Anyway, it went from this morning. It was at 124 over 69. 1 o'clock this afternoon, 102 over 60. At 2 o'clock, 111 over 63. And so anyway, and then at 4 o'clock, it was 110 over 60. So, so it's not, I don't have a blood pressure problem, even though I have nuts here on. Okay. All right. Everything's fine. There we go. 404-741-1230. President Biden, slime bag. And again, we can't say enough about this dirtiest, sleaziest, filthiest, most despicable president we've ever had. Has there ever been a president who put his family on the payroll, groomed his son to be a bag man for the family crime family, and also molested his daughter so much that she had physically actually became a sex maniac and needed treatment for it? Have we ever had an American political family as devious and sleazy and slimy as the freaking Bidens? And I mean all of them. That's why he pardoned the whole family, the wives, sister, the granddaughter, so they wouldn't be able to be punished for getting money under the table from foreign sources, using the family name to make millions of dollars. And now, Comer, the House Intelligence Committee guy, congressman, says he's got more evidence of more offshore funding accounts. He's got evidence of a check that the Biden crime family organizations offshore wrote to Joe himself for $200,000. And this is, I got to get to the bottom of it.
Expose them anyway.
That's right.
And just show everybody what they were.
We need to get to the bottom of not only what happened with this family and how the American people, and by the way, the media's been covering this up, and how come they're not camping on Tony Bobolinsky's doorstep every day saying, what more can you tell us about Big Joe and the big guy and 10% at all the meetings and everything else? I mean, it's all right there anyway. So we got that. So President the outgoing scumbag, leaves a letter saying, I wish you and your family all the best in the world. American people deserve the House for my prayer is that the coming years will be a frame of price. I pray. My God bless you. Yeah, what do you know about God? You freaking phony. God, dirty, rotten scumbag. Okay, now the police union, 508. We're going to play that girl minister, so-called minister again there, Flounder, too, in a minute. We'll play the other cut that we didn't play before, number 2, I think it is now. The biggest police union, Fraternal Order Police, God bless these guys. They're very upset with Donald Trump pardoning or commuting sentences of the guys who were involved with harming police officers. And again, no police officer was killed on that day. The only person dead was killed by a police officer, and I didn't hear the cops condemning that guy for his actions. Anyway, allowing convicted criminals to be released early diminishes accountability, values sacrifices made by courageous law enforcement. Those things are true. I don't blame you. I can't complain about you complaining about Donald Trump's actions. I totally agree. On the other hand, hold on a minute now. Let's wait until we get all the facts about the January 6th business, and we're going to get to the bottom of it at some point. But there were too many cases where the police officers, and especially the FBI, were involved in slimy, sleazy, underhanded tactics to try to make the number of arrests grow. Wait till this is all over before we do anything. And again, how come the police weren't reacting to anything the Biden family's been doing over the last 4 years? How about all the riots burned down America? I didn't see the police unions complaining about the leftists getting out of jail for nothing. Free bail stuff, the vice president herself helping get them out of, come on. Everything that happened, at some point, we're all going to have to say, okay, boy, I'm glad that's over. Let's not do that again. But you're going to have to say people acted differently than they normally would, and maybe maybe we have to just say, it was a bad time, so let's just stop attacking each other for it, take responsibility for it, and move on. But don't forget it, because we can't do this again. This won't happen again. If there's another thing, if they try to do this to us again, there's going to be a lot more people on the line, and this time we're bringing guns. That was no insurrection. Nobody had a gun. So this time we'll bring guns.
The most heavily armed demographic in the history of the world forgot their guns.
Yeah, forgot our guns. And by the way, Donald Trump, again, proving he's the worst Nazi ever, the worst dictator ever, clearly. All right, 5:10. All right, here, before I run out of time. Donald Trump demanding an apology from that skanky bishop with the screaming wild eye, Satan eyes on her. Donald Trump says that so-called bishop who spoke at the prayer service was a radical left-hand, hardline Trump hater, brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way, nasty in tone, not compelling or smart. She failed to mention a large number of illegal immigrants come to our country and killed people. And he goes on and on and on. Anyway, let's play a Flounder cut number. I think it's number 2 we have not played yet. Here is this woman on Good Morning America in 2020 after they tried to burn down her church. And here's what she said on Good Morning America. Number 2, sir.
Well, first of all, this is an excruciating moment, a crisis moment in our country where we need healing, where we need reconciliation, and we need justice. And the president, after speaking the remarks that you summarized and clearing with tear gas and riot-geared police the park and the courtyard of our church, stood in front of St. John's and held up a Bible as if it were spiritual validation and justification for a message that is antithetical to the teachings of Jesus and to the God of justice. And so I felt in no uncertain terms that I had to disassociate us from that symbolic gesture and to speak a word of justice and peace to the nation.
Yeah. How about that, Flounder? Let's play the first part of cut number 6. Here it goes. She actually brings up the name that's responsible for all that mayhem and violence and the destruction of America that the Democrats celebrated, that the Democrats used to celebrate the destruction of this country. Cut number 6, the same skanky so-called minister, if you will, sir.
We are upset about the fire as well, but that is not our primary focus. Our primary focus is the reason behind, the fundamental reasons behind the protests in our country right now. There is a deep desire for the fundamental issues at stake, brought to light by the murderous death of George Floyd and the countless others that we've witnessed.
The murderous death of George Floyd. This is a minister in the pulpit. She's been doing this for 5 years. She made that speech when at the America's church service after the transfer of power, and she deliberately humiliated the president and his wife and the vice president and his wife, the entire administration, humiliated them deliberately for political purposes on the day of American prayer service.
But J.D. Vance got to do that meme. I don't know if you've seen that meme where he does that office thing where he looks askance at the camera. And,
like
he was
Jim
doing that
office,
at the camera yesterday. It was great.
Jim from The Office have the chalkboard. Oh, my God. All right, hold on, 5:13. Hold everything. Got Pete Davis coming up. Holy crap, it's sports and memes and stuff and everything here with Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. We got it all. It's all coming up. 5:13. Look out.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Executive orders. He's the boss of the executive branch. He gets to set the parameters on how they do their job. I like the one about declaring a national emergency along our southern border. How many Americans have died because of the Biden policies on our southern border? I love that he said, as of today, the official policy of the U.S. government will be that there are 2 genders, male and female. And DEI programs in the executive branch, they are gone. Not happy about the executive orders pardoning the January 6 rioters, but what you gonna do? It's going to be a fun 4 years.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on XTRA 106.3 or listen anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
Hey, have you started the new year taking care of your stuff? Unlike the camera that lost my stuff like medical records and it cost me, I don't know, check in with Atlanta Safe House. Jeff and Mark and the whole crew, man, they always have some kind of great surprise going on up there right now. They have a showroom in Ackworth, up on Industrial Boulevard. They love it when you stop in just to say howdy and see what they have to offer. There's always kinds of sales and freaking rebates. I mean, it's unbelievable. Browning, Fort Knox, American Security. I mean, holy cow. There's always some kind of specials. And by the way, those big gun safes, I've had a couple of those babies. I wish I'd have taken them down to Florida when I lost my medical records and didn't have them like an idiot, which is why you need a safe. Not only got guns and pistols, but they can arrange those safes on the inside any way you like them with nooks and crannies. The pistol safes, man, these things are always on sale and they're beautiful. Security safes, they can build you a vault door. They can build you a family storm shelter, and they protect your stuff. No one's giving out your master reset code either, by the way. These guys are pros. Only off-duty military, police, and firefighters you can trust in your home or your office to deliver your new safe. Check them out on the web and see what they can do for you. Protect your stuff. Living will, your medical records, your financial stuff. You know what I'm talking about. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
It is so important to prepare in case of any emergency, and there's one place you can do that, and that's True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. But before you get into preparing, you need to know everything that goes into preparing. That's why they have all these great classes. They always have an intro to emergency preparedness class. What about a bug out bag? Make sure that you go to their class on that. And also, don't forget, they also do blood drives, everything else. It's your one-stop shop for preparedness. True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway, or online, trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guests are Brian Whidbey and Christy Canner of the GBI Cold Case Division. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
A musician with technical knowledge can play all the right notes, but one who cares enough to play from the heart gives music soul. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking, because when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Start feeling unstoppable. Visit truist.com/care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Start 2025 in style with Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs, home to one of Atlanta's largest selections of new and used vehicles. They're just 4 miles north of 285 on Roswell Road.
Stop by today to explore their incredible inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs, each thoroughly vetted to meet the highest standards.
Looking for power and performance? Drive home a legendary Mustang or conquer the great outdoors in the rugged Bronco. Need family-friendly space? The Explorer and Expedition have you covered. Or experience the capability and strength of America's best-selling truck, the F-150.
And when it's time to finance, their straightforward, hassle-free process ensures your experience is stress-free. With access to numerous lenders and expert guidance, they'll help you find the best rates and terms to fit your budget.
Which Ford will you drive home to start the new year? Find out at Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs or visit us online at jimellisford.com. Your Ford dreams are waiting. Make them a reality today at Atlanta's favorite Ford dealer, Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs.
All right, look out. Donald Trump's on an order. If you're a foreign student and you express support for terrorist organizations like Hamas or Hezbollah, we're going to deport you. That's a good start. And now, brought to you by RBM of Atlanta. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Can we get them in a room for about 15 minutes before they put them on the plane?
Yeah, let's do that. And if these students don't start standing up when they come into your classroom, throw your book at them, take off your shoe and throw it at them. I mean, humiliate them and attack them. Don't let them get away with this. I'm sorry. It's your time, sir. Please.
Because a lot of us know that the words never again means never again.
That's right. We're not doing it this time. Sorry.
Another year, another stupid vote by the sports writers. Andrew Jones is closer to Cooperstown, but still short a few votes. Former Braves closer Billy Wagner gets in. It was his last year of eligibility. Ichiro Suzuki and CC Sabathia also elected. TMZ has video of the 53-year-old Wagner sitting against his pool table, getting the phone call, and breaking down in tears. It's a great video.
I'll bet.
422 saves for the Astros, Phillies, Mets, Red Sox, and Braves. Must be a team missing here, because didn't you just say 15 minutes ago that he played for the Cubs?
Not the Cubs. No, it was the Braves of the
Cubs. It was not the Cubs.
Yeah, not the
Andrew got 66% of the vote, up from around 62 last year. And in a class move, he tweeted out congratulations to the other guys who got in.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people in the Hall of Fame. I think we could look at sort of an iffy, really they made a difference to the game and the national pastime and stuff like that. Andrew Jones was a flashing.
For a decade.
Yeah, for a very long time. Didn't he say things like he was the first rookie to hit a homer in our World Series, the first at bat? I know, but still, the whole package was really pretty good.
He had moments, but he won a World Series, but he also.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe he didn't win a World Series. He was a rookie in '96. You're right. He didn't. But anyway, for 10 years against his peers, he was the best center fielder in baseball.
Yeah. Right.
It was him and Griffey as the best in both leagues. So come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Chipper Jones not happy at all, and justifiably so, that his longtime teammate is yet to get in. The Hall of Famer tweeting, quote, "I want to ask all Hall of Fame voters one question. If Andrew Jones played for the New York Yankees for 15 years with 10 gold gloves, 400 homers, 1,300 RBIs, is he a Hall of Famer? Let me answer for you. First ballot. Time to have a conversation about Hall of Famers chiming in. 75 living members can make sure it's right." End quote.
Yeah. 1,300 RBIs.
Why they don't have a vote.
That's 100 RBIs for 13 years on average. That's how many ball players can do 100 ever in a year?
And they're judging the last 6 years where he was just mediocre. I'm sorry, for 10 years he was the best.
Yeah.
So Koufax is in for much less than that, even though, of course, he had greater numbers.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know what Andrew Jones's middle name is?
I do not know.
Named after a red-nosed reindeer.
Rudolph.
Rudolph is
I'll be damned.
He wasn't named after the reindeer, but Rudolph. I didn't know that. Speaking of Ichiro, despite getting a late start coming over from Japan, Suzuki went on to collect 3,089 hits, 1,420 runs, 509 stolen bases, 10 gold gloves, just like Andrew, 2 batting titles, 10 All-Star selections, and set an MLB single-season record with 262 hits in 2004, and went to visit the grave of George Sisler in St. Louis after he broke his record.
Wow.
Despite all that, he got 393 of 394 votes.
One guy? And
one guy, which people are looking for right now, and I bet we get this name. One sports wanker decided to vote no on Ichiro Suzuki belonging in the Hall of Fame. One of probably the top 4 all-time outfiders.
Yeah. And by the way, how many times on the balloting is it unanimous that there's only be one guy? Didn't he do it for Willie Mays or Joe DiMaggio? You mentioned yesterday, didn't somebody voted?
They wouldn't let him in. No, they wouldn't let him in the first time DiMaggio was up. There were a lot that didn't vote for him. I think Mariano Rivera was the first one. I think we'll do that in Today in History if we get to it. I think he was the first one to get unanimous. Yeah. Which is amazing. Tom Seaver did, and Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What do you expect? You know who it is doing that. I wonder if that was a fat, bald loser, Bill Plaschke of the L.A. Pravda who did that. The guy who hates Waffle House. He sure is fat for a guy who hates Waffle House.
How did he pass one by, I wonder?
Ichiro, the first Japanese-born player in the Hall. Former Braves reliever Jesse Chavez, who said he was retiring after last season, now says he wants to keep playing.
What?
Former Alabama head coach Nick Saban says his biggest regret ever was leaving LSU to go try and coach the Miami Dolphins. He should have stayed because he wanted to be the Bear Bryant of college football. He did not want to be the Vince Lombardi of the NFL. The Jets are hiring Detroit defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn as their new head coach. A lot of people are happy with that. Glenn managed to get an injury-plagued D of the Lions into the playoffs, and they were devastated this year. They couldn't stop anybody there at the end. How bad has it gotten with the NFL covering for the Chiefs and their lapdog referees? Well, Texans running back Joe Mixon has just been fined $25,000 American dollars for something he didn't even say about it. In a post-game interview, Mixon was asked about the refs after the Houston defense was flagged for 2 separate penalties for getting close to Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Both penalties extended KC drives, leading to crucial 10 points for the Chiefs in their 23-14 win. He said, everybody knows how it is playing up here. You can never leave it into the ref's hands. The whole world sees, man, what it is. When it comes down to it, you can never leave it in the ref's hands. It's all good, though. But that didn't get him fined. What got him fined was former Bengals receiver T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who posted an agreement with Mixon and wrote himself, "Why play the game if every 50-50 call goes with the Chiefs? These officials are trash and biased."
Whoa. So now what?
So they fined Mixon for something he didn't even say. He's going to appeal. Well, that's the NFL for you.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's what they're like. No, I don't want to get into it.
Right.
Another head coaching prospect pulled out of talks with the Jaguars. Jacksonville has finally fired lousy general manager Trent Baalke. Seems no coach wanted to work under him, so they've had to fire him to go get somebody. Wow. Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden is leaving to be the new DC of the Cincinnati Bengals. NFL Rookie Watch tweets, this year's Ohio State running back duo may go down as the best college running back duo of all time.
Oh, now wait a minute.
To which Southern Cal legend Lindell White responded, I had just as many touchdowns as both of them by myself. This is blasphemy. And Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin tweeted, in less games.
Yeah.
I love it.
Unbelievable.
NBA, the Hawks host the Pistons tonight, so I know what you're doing later tonight. You're watching those Hawks.
Oh, I got to be the Hawk man. Yeah. Going to score 30
He's injured
points
right
tonight.
now. You asked how he was doing. He's been injured for a couple of weeks, so he's going to be back.
Good kid.
And a sign of things to come, maybe, Norway has become the first country to stop using video replay during soccer matches. Players and fans hated it. They kept getting everything wrong. Earlier this season, Rosenborg's game against Lillestrøm abandoned because fans threw fish cakes onto the pitch and protested the video replay. Other games were interrupted by champagne corks, croissants, and tennis balls being thrown onto the field.
Croissants? They don't go very far. You can't throw a croissant very far.
You can sail a croissant.
I don't know. From upper deck of the well, I don't know. Maybe
it could have been worse. One referee was nearly blood-eagled right there on the pitch. It's Norway. You never know. Last night in the NHL, Capitals goalie Logan Thompson allowed a goal by the Oilers. His excuse? There was a tray of cheese-covered nachos on the ice. A fan had thrown the Mexican dish of delight, and it landed right side up, distracting the goalie. Washington did hold on to nip Edmonton 3-2. The Caps coach wondered if they could bring the nachos into the locker room afterwards, but nothing like cold cheese products left out on ice. I skipped that.
Mercy.
And speaking of the Capitals, forward TJ Oshie, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, an American Olympic hero from 2014 in Sochi, posted a congratulatory message to President Trump. So, of course, the commies came after him on social media, but TJ don't play. Posting another message refusing to apologize and saying if they don't like his jersey anymore, just take my damn name off the back of it. He also called them stinkers. Hockey players ain't going to play.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't have to put up with it.
No, sir.
And keeping with the food theme, Post Malone, whoever that is, has his own Oreo cookie flavor now with 9 different decals on the front of it. A record, a guitar, a pickup, he's got a knight on a horse and all that. One half of the cookie is the original black. The other is the golden Oreo. You ever had one of those, the vanilla type?
Oh, yeah, that's all I the only do, I double stuffed vanilla Oreos, that's all I'll eat.
Well, the stuffing in the middle of this cookie from Post Malone is salted caramel and shortbread cream. Would you eat that?
Possibly. The shortbread cream, I like the idea. The caramel pie, yeah, sure, I probably would, yeah.
Salted caramel is huge right now. Yeah. Wendy's has their
ice
Frosty.
Cream.
I don't know. I've never had it.
Oh, it's huge in ice cream. Salted caramel, Ben and Jerry's and stuff, the little twist in the middle of it and all those things.
Really?
Oh, a lot of salted
Last
caramel.
night, I had Hershey's with almonds with salt and vinegar potato chips. So,
God.
What the hell?
Wow.
What do I know? Vintage Atlanta posted on Facebook a program from 1968 of the Bass High School versus East Atlanta football game. You got candy for a dime at the concession stand, cigarettes for 45 cents a pack.
There you go.
Cigars, 10 cents, gum a nickel, popcorn and peanuts a dime a piece, cold and hot drinks 15 cents a piece, and you could get a wiener to eat and a cushion to sit on for a quarter a piece.
There you go. Those were the
Those
days,
were the
all
times.
right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, today in history, January 22nd, 2021, Hank Aaron passed away at the age of 86. And in 2019, Mariano Rivera, the first player to be a unanimous selection to the Hall of Fame. But Ichiro falls one vote short. I want to know the name of the guy. And this isn't, voting for president. This is for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The secret ballot is BS. I want to know how they voted.
Yeah. Well, again, that's just, there's always somebody. There's just, for
sports wakers.
Yeah. I love it.
They wouldn't vote for Ted Williams.
I know. I mean, that's just outrageous. More coming up, actually, with a couple of historical things. Pete and Kimmer and Flounder. It's a 5:30. 404-741-1230. So remember, if you'd like to join us. We got so much more coming up, sounds and stuff. And Rick the Painter on the phone next with a 106.3 time in Hump Day. Look out.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Hey, I know you're tired of paying those skyrocketing health insurance premiums. Holy smokes. Well, the big guys are back in town. It's Trump Care. Ta-da-ta. Healthy, self-employed, maybe a small business owner, close to Medicare, whatever, maybe one of those Cobra plans. Boy, I've done that before. Well, the health insurance doctor's name's Steven. You can have him, too. He's my guy. You can call him Steven. The health insurance doctor's got you covered. How about saving up to 60% on annual premiums with Trump Care plans? Nationwide PPO stuff, zero deductible, no copay, like you're forking over the $50 when you walk in the doctor's office. They have things to make sure there's no IRS penalties. I didn't know there was such a thing, by the way, on that stuff. Hard to get subsidies, whatever that is. This guy, Steven, the health insurance doctor, that's how you get him, by the way. He loves things like fine print and charts and graphs and tables and comparing stuff. I don't know about you, but not me. And he'll do all this work for you, getting your plan together, see how you like it for nothing. You don't have to pay him. The number, 678-523-0759. It's a health insurance doctor on the web, healthinsurancedoctor.net.
The EQE electrifies the essence of Mercedes-Benz values. Leadership in user-friendly technology and earth-friendlier power. Satisfaction for drivers and passengers alike. And the seamless confluence of craftsmanship and innovation that make the iconic grille stars shine. Get an exceptional offer on the all-electric 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQE 350 sedan. Just $499 per month for 36 months with $66.43 due at signing. Exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta Sandy Springs through January 31st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
You may know that ATL Turfco has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services, but you may not know that ATL Turfco is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along along, suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Vansant with Vansant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Vansant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or VansantLaw.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The old Kimmer Beatles. I love it.
Last night I said these words to
I mean, honestly, I remember 1963. I was a junior prep school. And tell you what, the Beatles, oh man. 1963, the Beatles were on 3 British radio programs, recorded a session for the show Pop In on Paris Studio, went to the Playhouse Theatre in London and taped a radio appearance on Saturday Club, recorded 5 songs, then went back to the BBC Paris Studio to record an appearance on the talent spot, Please Please Me, Ask Me Why, and Some Other Guy, before a live audience, 1963. Here we go. Well, fine. Please, please me. The Beatles. Phone calls take priority. Got some tweeting coming up here in a second. 5:37. Rick the Painter, you're on the radio, man. What's up, Rick? What's going on?
Hey, man. Hey, Kimmer.
Yeah.
Hey, for all the DEI employees and stuff, hey, where do they make average things?
I'm sorry. Where do they make average things?
Yes, sir.
Where do they make average things? These government employees? Well, God, I don't really know, Rick. Where?
The satisfactory.
The satisfactory. The average. Rick. You know, my cheeks are cracking from just the laughter alone. It's just the smile of the cracking of the smile.
I call it an elevator. My British friend calls it a lift.
A lift, yeah.
I guess we were just raised differently.
But, you know, it's like farting in that thing. It's wrong on so many levels. So, again, you just can't. Thank you. All right. And shut up. I got a couple quick sports history things, so we're going to do a playtime here for something.
Speaking of which, I ate too much cheese last night. I'm just telling you.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, luckily you're over there and I'm over here. On this day in 1929, the New York Yankees announced they would put numbers on the backs of uniforms. The first baseball team to do it. 1920 and the 1929 Yankees. Are the Yankees mentioned as maybe the greatest team ever kind of deal, or started
27 murders, and that was their batting order.
Yeah.
That's why Ruth was 3.
Well, that's why the first numbers were based on positions in the batting order. Ruth was 3, Lou Gehrig number 4, and so forth. And that was 1929. One more sports thing here, Pete Davis. If you don't mind, I want a quick thing here. I remember this too. On this day in 1973, boxing champ George Foreman wins his first heavyweight title match by stopping Joe Frazier with a second-round knockout. Frazier, I couldn't believe it. 1973, Frazier was knocked down 3 times in the first round, 3 times in the second round before they stopped the fight. The commentary was highlighted by Howard Cosell's repeated exclamation, "Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!" Holy cow. And by the way, of all the boxers, I always thought Sonny Liston looked like a killer. I think he was a killer. He did kill somebody, if I recall. And George Foreman looked like a killer, too.
Question.
Oh, man, yes, sir.
What was more shocking, either Frazier going down or Mike Tyson going down for the first time?
I couldn't believe Tyson in the first round.
Yeah.
It was like 40 seconds by that guy.
Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, holy cow.
My dad called me up and says, "You ain't gonna believe this. I was watching it on HBO and Tyson just lost."
Yeah, you better tune in now. I mean, it was like wasn't it first round or second round, maybe?
I don't know if it was that close.
Yeah, but it wasn't long. I know that.
No.
5:39, that's what she said. But 5 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at Lee Brandt Jewelers, where luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com. 5:40 already covered Pete and Flounder. And we got these, what's that? We got to get some attention. He's got things to do in here. The man's busy, I'm telling you. You didn't see my sign. Now, the folks on YouTube are seeing me waving this thing up and down. I'm walking here. I got stuff to do. Hey, look out. It's Pete's tweets.
In the year 1993, Al Gore said that winters would be a thing of the past by the year 2000.
Well, sure.
Mr. Gore Pensacola is on the phone with you. Wants to talk right now. Good Lord. The Gulf of America has 10 inches of snow in Pensacola.
Wow.
The previous record, 3 inches in 1893.
Holy Pensacola, Florida.
You imagine waiting all year to go to the Gulf of Mexico and get out of the Midwest and go down there.
Especially in the wintertime. Yeah, the middle of winter.
You're stuck in your hotel watching the same thing you saw in Racine, Wisconsin that you just left.
Good Lord.
Anyway, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy said, "You're going to be challenging the status quo. You're going to be called crazy." Many people also called Noah crazy, and then the rains came and all the fact checkers died. Liberal Idiot Joe tweets, "Kind of funny. MAGA wants us to get over January 6th and look forward, not back, when they still haven't gotten over losing the civil effing war." To which Dustin responded, "Republicans won the Civil War, but thank you for showing everyone why Democrats should not be running our education system." Daddy tweets, "My wife had a dream that I have a secret second wife named Linda."
Oh.
So now when she gets mad at me and she brings this up, I just say, "Linda wouldn't get mad about that."
Chicks,
Nick tweets, my 4-year-old asked what happens when you drive over a stick of butter. I said it'll flatten. He asked how I knew. And that's how we got to me having clean butter off the grooves on my tire. So what I'm saying is, when we have a hypothesis in this house, we test it. It's a teaching moment for the children. I'm also saying my wife is away.
She knows nothing about this.
And finally, P&O Cruise Line in Australia has some splaining to do, Lucy. The staff on the ship were ordered to dress up for a Christmas costume party, but the workers didn't have much to wear. So they donned their white cleaning uniforms.
You got to look at this picture.
Large white upside-down ice cream cones on their heads.
Or
vacationers stunned to watch what looked like a KKK rally going by.
You've got to see this picture. And they were trying to entertain the upside-down ice cream cones, and they're wearing white robes and pointy white hats. I mean, oh my God! And the cruise line's going, "Holy Jesus! What? I mean, sorry." God.
Can you imagine if you're an Aborigine on that ship?
Oh Lordy! Oh,
Australia.
Never seen such a thing. By the way, have you seen the Babylon Bee has come out with Trump's new improved world map? You've got to look at this thing. For example, Trump's new world map. The United States, the contiguous 48 states are now called American Classic. The Baja Peninsula and Mexico and Central America are called America's Pants. The South America is called Little Africa. Alaska is called McKinley's Happy Fun Land. And now to the northeast of us, it's called Marjorie Taylor Greenland. Also, of course, the Ocean of America instead of the Atlantic. Let's see. The African continent is now dark MAGA. And the final tip of South Africa is Muskville. I mean, and the northern part of the European continent is called Country America Beat to the Moon, Russia.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you're GMC, do you change the name of your Denali truck?
Well, that's a thought. I mean, it's been funny. And again, he's saying, it was McKinley.
It was Denali before it was McKinley. So I think this is a mistake. He should have kept it Denali.
And by the way, speaking of mistake things, one quick, I thought everybody knew this, but I guess they didn't. For the record, this whole business about birthright business and the Constitution for whether, if you're illegal here and you have a kid here, the kid's automatically a citizen, that's part of the 14th Amendment. But it was designed for slaves. It was because of the Drew Scott decision by the Supreme Court that said slaves aren't people. Dred Scott decision that slaves aren't people. So the Constitution changed because then people said, okay, wait a minute. Even if you're not a human, but you have a baby, the baby's a human and baby's an American. That's why they passed it. It wasn't so you could sneak in here and unload a baby and have to become a citizen.
It wasn't for illegals.
It was for people who live here already. It was for people protected under the government having a baby here. So that's why the Supreme Court could decide. I'll bet they don't. I'll bet it'd be like 5-4 against Trump. But it could happen. And again, it's and I'll bet they want to take it.
It's being abused.
Yeah. Well, plus, aren't we the only country in the world literally that does this? I think we're the only country that allows an illegal citizen. You could be a criminal. You could be a rapist. You could be a mass murderer. Sneak into this country, knock up a woman. She has a baby, and that baby, as an American citizen.
You can't blame the kid. The only good positive out of it is the fact while the rest of the world's demographics. The rest of the world's demographics are going down. Yeah. Our baby birth is still doing okay.
Yeah. Well, keep your own kids and we'll have ours. Thank you very much. Anyway, that's right.
How many are you planning to have now?
Well, a little late now, baby. 5:46. By the way,
never too late.
That's another thing, ladies. I can drive at night and you're not getting pregnant. 5:46.
It's never too late.
Kimber Pete, especially the way I. Never mind. 5:46. Kimber Pete and Flounder. Sorry. Look out, it's the Kimber. We've got your afternoons covered, all right. And the Morning Extra's got your drive-in from 6 to 10 a.m., too.
The biggest liar in politics really is Joe Biden, who makes up story after story about what he's done, creating 16 million jobs that were never created, putting Secret Service members at the border. They're so used to being able to lie in the mainstream media, just running with it.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
You're setting a lot of goals for 2025. Big plans, new adventures, and Subaru of Gwynette has the vehicles to get you there. The 2025 Subaru Forester is the same reliable SUV that earned the trust of drivers for decades, but with more adventurous style and more advanced safety technology. And you'll love exploring in the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek. It gives you up to 34 miles per gallon and the power of a 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, adding plenty of go to your adventures. The 2025 Subaru Outback shares your adventurous spirit. With up to 32 miles per gallon and 9.5 inches of ground clearance, you can explore your world with confidence. And the 2025 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. The turbocharged 260 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine makes driving a thrill. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it at Subaru Gwynette, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, or shop online at SubaruofGwynette.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Toro and Howard Brothers. Are you ready to tackle your lawn this cutting season? Get ahead of the game with Toro and Howard Brothers before spring is here. Now is the perfect time to prepare for spring with the trusted performance of Toro. Toro mowers are built to handle Georgia's toughest lawns with precision and durability on your side. Head to your local Howard Brothers and find the exact Toro mower to make your spring lawn care a breeze. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Toro and Howard Brothers.
It's cold in Atlanta right now, and we're not just talking about the pro football team.
It's time to wake up, people, and it starts with us. Hey, it's Doug and Rhino. Want to see us take the plunge?
It's the 2025 Polar Plunge to support Special Olympics Georgia. From now until February 2nd, go to SpecialOlympicsGA.org and make a donation on behalf of us and our friends at 680 The Fan.
If we can raise $2,500 or more, us too are taking the plunge at Ackworth Beach on February 22nd.
And all donations support Special Olympics Georgia. Donate now at SpecialOlympicsGA.org and click on the Polar Plunge link.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
It's here. It's called winter. And you keep the cold weather outside? Well, if you're not sure, you need to talk to the folks at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Central Heating and Air is one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. Give Central a call at 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert since 1947. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com. That's 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Here we go. Now we're talking. Little Peggy Holly, buddy in the Holly.
You know why I feel blue without Peggy.
We're going to flip Peggy Sue over on her back and play All Day. That's actually the other side of the song was All Day. Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly on this day with an acoustic guitar and all by himself and a tape recorder in his New York City apartment on this day in 1959. Buddy Holly made his last recordings, including Peggy Sue Got Married, Crying, Waiting, Hoping, That's What They Say, What to Do, Learning the Game, and That Makes It Tough. Those recordings were overdubbed posthumously and were later released by Coral Records because the day the music died, Buddy Holly among them, 1959, when he did those last things there. Let's see, our birthday list includes Linda Blair, the actress of The Exorcist, little girl, 66 years old. I'm sorry, no, 66 years old, not 666 years old. That was a hell of a movie. I read the book and talked to the director and saw the movie. Man, you never saw it, did you? Didn't you say you never saw the movie?
I read the book, and that was enough.
Yeah, it's scary. And they did it. I mean, it was a good job, but the book was even worse.
I won't get near a Ouija board. It looks fun, but I won't get near it.
No, I believe those things are bad. I think there's a thing. Let's see. Olivia Dabo, do you know who that is? Fred Savage's older sister, Karen, on the Wonder Years.
Living Daylights.
Olivia turned out pretty good there. Olivia Dabo is something of a dish, 56 years old today.
Now, was she the Bond girl, or was it her sister that was the Bond girl with Timothy Dalton? Was it Miriam or Olivia Dabo?
No, I think it was Olivia.
They were good looking.
I could be wrong. And on this day in history, I'm going to need a froggy here for a second. Hold on a second. Kind of a sports thing here, crime thing. 2001, National Football League player Ray Caruth sentenced to 18 years, 11 months in prison for his 1999 role in the shooting death of his pregnant girlfriend, Cherika Adams. She died a month later from her wounds. The baby survived and lives with the woman's mother, Ray Caruth.
And remember, he hid in the trunk and took off across the South?
Brutal. I mean, just 5:53, can repeat and flounder. Donald Trump is signing orders saying if you're a foreign student and you're on American soil at a school and you are supporting Hamas and Hezbollah, you're out. Deported. He's also telling people they got to go back to work. Oh, holy cow, Flounder, let's play that remote worker saying, oh my God, you mean I got to start getting dressed and everything? Holy smokes, I can't take it. Listen to this.
So I'm hearing that they're going to make us start coming to work. Like going into work, like leaving home and going in. Like I'm going to have to get dressed and drive there. I'm gonna have to deal with traffic. I mean, the stress that this is gonna cause me. I'm not gonna be able to watch The View when it comes on. I'm gonna have to wait till I get home after work and watch it. And lunch. Do I have to pack a lunch now? I mean, come on. I may just quit. I think that's gonna be the only option. Is just to quit.
Well, maybe that's the point, ma'am. And you know how many people are just not going to do it? I hope they have other jobs. I mean, I wonder whether, and again, most of the jobs that were created under the president's scumbag and his whole scumbag family were federal jobs. And I wonder whether the employment rate actually will change because of the number of people who can't do it anymore.
Think about this. Someone comes to your business and says, well, I'm a former federal worker. Why did you leave your last job?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this could be a real thing. Oh my God! But he'll never clean the swamp after what we realize how big it is now. But he's sure starting to make a big difference, and a big difference fast, just like he said. Anyway, 5:55. I don't talk about Hollywood stuff very much because I don't know much about it. I don't follow these people. But I love Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I think they're a great couple. I love the fact they joke around and tease, and they seem to have fun and like each other. And I God wish I had a wife like that. So Blake Lively's now been suing the guy she did a movie with, this guy Baldoni. Never heard of him, but he was in the movie Ends With Us, and is some famous thing, and everybody knows him by Justin Baldoni. Anyway, she claims that he was basically feeling her up and doing stuff that he should not be doing to her during the filming of their slow dance scene. She sued him because he was dragging his lips from her ear down her neck, saying it smelled good. She's trying to laugh it off. He tried to kiss her forehead, rubbed her face, mouth against her neck, flicking her lip with his thumb, caressing her, talking her out of character, leaning against her. She kept saying, stop, recognizing. Anyway, he released a video saying, I never did anything wrong. The video proves it. She says, no, it proves everything I said was true. She filed a $400 million countersuit and stuff like that. But again, she was talking about, feeling her up and cupping the breast. And they have actually, people have to be on the set when you're going to feel up an actress. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, would you let your wife do that? I mean, how do you go home and say, well, yeah, he had cupped one breast, but he had to fondle the other part of my face? I mean, oh, my God. I'm not.
And the film doesn't prove anything either way because you don't know what the director was having them do.
But they actually have an intimacy counselor on set. They're supposed to have.
In fact, the director is the only one who could say which one's right and which one's wrong.
Right. But again, the whole thing just makes me sick. I can't imagine. I don't know how these guys do it and go see their wife and kiss her goodnight, hello when she comes home from the set after some guy's feeling her up and making out with her. Humping her. How about a girl married to the country star, the Australian girl, big, tall, redhead Australian girl married to the country star, did the orgasms over and over and over and over in a movie.
Oh, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Hey, honey, how was your day at work? Oh, God, I had so many orgasms. I'm dying over here.
I'm so tired.
Oh, jeez. If I have one more lousy origami, I swear to God. Jeez. Anyway.
Organism, as my mom used to call it.
Yes. Almost 5:58. Flounder, let's do a little Nuckies Hoagies here. A little Flounder's funny if you feel like it.
This is the root of the problem. That you can't. We spoil the kids so much they think you can change reality just by screaming at it. We raise kids wrong, like they're just shorter adults, always blowing smoke up their little asses and calling them tiny geniuses telling them their thoughts are just as valid as the adults. They're not. They're children. They're stupid like dogs.
Wait a minute.
And you could say, oh, Bill, you don't have kids. How would you know? Because I'm in people's houses that do sometimes. And I see this all the time. Kids as young as 10 will invite themselves into the adult conversations, and no one stops it. I mean, if I ever did this, I remember my parents in the living room with their friends. If I ever just walked in, I've had some thoughts about the Vietnam War. Get the out of here. So we raised them wrong. Then we send them to these whole factories called elite universities. Really? Let me tell you, if ignorance was a disease, Harvard Yard would be the Wuhan wet market. And then the kids get out and they're like, there's no good jobs. Yeah, because you majored in queer poetry of the Asian diaspora. Of course there's no jobs.
You know, you got to love Bill Maher. I mean, politically or not, you got to, well, you don't love me. I appreciate his talent. I appreciate his ability to make me laugh. And whether I agree politically or not, I'm laughing at what he says. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Isn't that the way Dave Chappelle are trying to get us to say, listen, we can disagree, but we're laughing. Anymore. It's funny. Laugh at it. My God. Anyway, happy birthday, Tug, and happy anniversary, 20 years, Donald Trump and Melania together today. Anyway, holy mackerel, Christine, sing me home, baby. I got to go. You're killing me. Boys, tomorrow, I think we're going to have a little maybe Shannon Burke. If not, I'll give her Pete and Flounder. Hoorah, Semper Fi. Look out, baby. I'm on the way. Herb.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10 a.m. and The Kimmer Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Only on WFOM and W292EV Marietta. Extra 106.3 FM.